So, the last we left off, apparently I can't speak.
Whoever.
You were just finally, you'd finally fended off the last of the goblins from the town of Sandpoint. You just finished a conversation with Aldo and Foxglove, who had tried to hold the fort as at the most northern gate after the guards had headed into town to try and deal with the goblin threat. And you had just been approached by Sheriff Hemlock. Sorry, I do apologise.
Yep.
Who had said that Ameiko Kojitsu, the owner of the Rusty Dragon, was looking for you. And that's where we got to.
That's right. Yeah.
So we were heading to the pub, weren't we? That was
Yeah. To the
yeah.
Rusty Dragon.
The rusty starfish.
The rusty trombone.
What's the town looking like in general? Has it been sacked? Are there fires everywhere? Are there dead bodies everywhere?
There's a bit of smoke. There's not. I mean, to be honest, it was more chaos. There's not been you haven't seen too many dead bodies, but obviously you've come out to the edge of town now, so you haven't been back into town, back into the centre as such. You hadn't started travelling that way, so.
Okay.
But there's not too much smoke. I can hear myself on somebody's mic. But yeah, so it's it's one of those you still need to assess. I think is more than anything.
Is Hemlock still with us?
Yes.
Okay. So he, sorry Tom, I can't remember. He came to us after the fight.
Yeah, so he just arrived. So he'd been mopping up. From what he said, he'd been mopping up goblins in town.
Right. Did we ask him if any of the goblins are still alive?
You didn't.
Or any of the goblins still alive?
Yes, they are, and they're currently being held in cells, and they will be vigorously questioned.
Okay.
Can we go do some questioning?
I mean, you're certainly welcome to, although they'll keep to the morning. My men are well trained. They won't kill them overnight, and they won't accidentally kill them overnight either.
But Dastor's got a good iron fist.
Something occurred to me after we finished last session. I am going to make an excuse, like tying my shoelaces type thing, and I'm going to do this to everyone, Dungeon Master. I'll warn you now. And as I'm still for a move action, I'm going to cast Detect Evil on Hemlock.
Oh,
sure.
He's a bull.
Ooh. Okay, so yeah, you detect nothing, mate. You do not detect a thing.
Okay, like I say, most NPCs that we bump into now.
As Elder and Foxglove is also still in the radius of the spell, you're not picking anything up off him.
Okay, righto. Right to the pub then, gentlemen. I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's
that.
Yeah, would you a rest as well? We're pretty beat up, aren't we?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is Argus going to be constantly tying his shoelaces now whenever he sees him?
It's a keyword for the cast Detect Evil.
Right.
Right. So I'll lob a ball of yarn in front of us. So
entertain.
I do. Are you going to do a voice for what's his name? Namiko, is it?
Ameiko?
Yeah, Ameiko.
It would be very offensive if I try it, because I am not a light voiced man, and she is definitely female. So female NPCs probably not, but male NPCs I'll do my best.
Oh, okay.
But I'm obviously not a trained, because I don't. Yeah, I mean,
I can go quite high if you'd like me to give a go for the ladies.
Enter the script.
For the ladies.
Jim's character in our game, whenever Dave plays, he talks like this.
Okay, off to the pub.
Cool.
Yeah, we're in. We were heading.
Well, I assume I would lead the way as
I will happily follow.
Okay, so I'll take you off combat map for now, and I'll put you on a nice little map of Standpoint.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
That's cool.
I haven't shown you this yet, so here's a map of Sandpoint.
Will we up in this top right-hand corner then?
Yeah, so you are up here. No, that's me grabbing the map for that one.
Yes,
Oh,
that might be
wicked.
North
Yeah,
Cape.
yeah.
that's cool.
So, and the Rusty Dragon. Well, where's the appendix for this map gone? Why do we have to hide things in submenus? No. Appendices. There we go. Standpoint. Standpoint at a glance. So I'm just rolling through all of these points now, trying to. I should know this. I should have it written down, but 37. So it is. I'll leave that up for now, in case you have any other questions for me on that. There.
Love a bit of artwork.
There.
Yeah,
Where?
can't beat it, can you?
Is it to the south?
Yes.
Where was it, Tom?
37. This one there.
Oh, gotcha. Perfect. Thank you.
Right.
It's not quite on the harbour.
Ainsley Harriet was blocking my view.
Oh, we figured out how to shrink Ainsley, didn't we? Like,
Yeah.
Dave, do you remember how to do it now?
I don't
Yep.
know. I think it was double click, but it was a
I
bit
know that
random.
they're all minimised on mine, which is a bit of
Yeah.
a bonus.
I think it was in the settings, you know.
It's fine. I'll move them all across. There we go. It's better.
Oh, I've just managed to
Sorry.
minimise mine.
So if anyone wants to make any perception checks to look at the state of standpoint as you're walking through, because obviously you're going through the bulk of the town, because you're obviously going to come down Church Street, down High Street, down Festival Street, through the
Yeah, I
Standpoint Market.
probably would.
I'm scanning everywhere. Yeah, I'm on high alert. I'm suspicious of everything.
Yeah.
Although pretty shit at spotting
Well,
things.
you are very tired. You have been fighting, you know, I mean, moving through the streets carefully.
You've rolled shit when the
dungeon
dungeon master's making excuses for you.
Don't you worry about it. You've tried your best. Right. Oh, I didn't do mine.
You get the good effort award.
Mine's not a bad
yeah,
roll.
I mean, there's some smoking. You can't hear any giggles of goblins, or you can't hear the chanting anymore.
Okay.
Not too many dead bodies. I think bit of blood here and there, but like you're not seeing the dead bodies. So either somebody's carted them off, or it's more injuries than death. But you might have to investigate that further if you want a deeper answer.
Okay.
They're already burying them.
Yeah, it's straight on the burning pile, mate. They don't give a shit.
Well, we've already established. Sorry.
Can I ask Hemlock? Have they identified a leader, or was the leader the one that we destroyed?
So if you ask him that, he kind of looks you kind of seriously and just says, "We think the one that you killed, the one riding that ugly goblin. They call them dogs, but they're not really. They're more like rats. We think he was in charge of the raid. But if I'm honest, I've never found goblins to be particularly smart, and this was well planned."
Okay. Just goblins then. No hobgoblins, no bugbears.
No bigger people.
No.
I mean, there's rumors of a bugbear leading a goblin tribe out in the wilderness, but there wasn't any bugbears seen in this fight. No.
Okay. Righto. Is anyone in town under investigation? Any townsman under investigation? Any suspicious behaviour? Anything of that nature?
Not we have very few leads. Honestly, I need to go and see Mayor Deverin.
Okay.
I want to do a house by house search for any straggling goblins. Would be my first order of priority. And we will of course question the goblin captives that we have and see what we can get out of them. But Well, the goblins. Ugh.
Yeah. I'm hearing you.
I for a moment then, Tom, I thought you were going to throw me under the bus and go, yeah, that dodgy teething bastard stood next to you.
Roll knowledge local for me.
Me?
As you made the comment, roll knowledge local for me.
Give me a second.
For future, where is perception again?
It's near the bottom, I believe.
I think they're alphabetical.
Yeah, skills. Yeah,
Boom.
P. Yeah.
Skills and
So the
Yeah,
one thing
spot it
you
now.
know for sure about
Oh
Sheriff Hemlock,
shit!
yeah, that's a natural 20 for a 25, Sam.
He knows everything about the local area.
Yeah, the thing you know, I mean, you can remember Sheriff Hemlock before he was sheriff, so when he was just a guardsman, and he is one of the most like he's very stern, he's very strict, and he's harsh but fair, but he's in no way racist. He himself is Shawanti, so he himself had difficulties when he came to this town as a kind of young boy and taken on by the previous sheriff as almost almost a foster son. He holds no racial grudges. That's the reason why the half orcs were in the town during the festival, because he refused to outright move them on. And
I was going to
he
say
always treated
because
your father and you with respect and honesty.
I was going to say because obviously we sort of implied that there was some racial tension with Zegric earlier on. I think in the first session, I think it was. I assume he'd probably be aware. Do you know what I mean? There'd have been an interaction probably between them when there's been a bit of a fisticuffs or something at some point.
Yeah, well, you know that Hemlock squashed it. So Hemlock has a very strict no policy on racial intolerance. So, like physically harassing those half orcs would have caused problems with Hemlock. And that's quite well known throughout the town.
But just so you know, Dastor is racist.
I think we all know this, dude.
And Hemlock will look at you as well and just say, I don't want to cause a panic in the town, but the only one thing I may send a sortie up to Chopper's Isle. No one goes up there anymore, not since Guest, but it's the one place if they wanted to watch the town that nobody goes.
What
So
isle was that? Sorry,
Chopper's Isle.
Chopper.
Yeah, and rolling your knowledge local roll on, Sam. You know that Dervin Guest, who was known as the Sandpoint Chopper, his house was up there. And after he was taken out, there was because it's like almost like a raise. It's not quite a mountain, but it's quite a steep hill. And they crafted a wooden staircase for him to get up in his younger days. And a couple of days after his death, that was burnt. So it's very, very difficult to get up there. So
Okay, so sending a sortie, so he hasn't got one sorted.
I'm very
sorted or sortie.
few on manpower with putting out the fires, helping with the wounded. But we will be sending someone up there, unless, of course, I can convince you to go yourselves.
I'm feeling a tombstone moment coming on. Can Argus sort of say, "I'm your Huckleberry"?
Yes!
So just to double check, why has he asked us to check out the island?
Chopper's Island.
No.
Yeah.
There's a house up there, Dervin Guest House. That's what he's telling you.
Right.
And
It's abandoned.
Okay.
I think we should have a rest.
Yeah.
For the night,
Yeah.
and then go and do that.
Of course, I would not send you up there tonight.
Yeah, we'll have a go. If you'd like to pay for our rooms because we're so calm, that'd be ace.
I will pay you, of course, for your time. But I think in terms of board, you might want to speak to a Mako before I make any such offers.
Okay. Got to be cheap.
And he seems to know something you don't.
Okay. Right. Well, she sent us to rescue Foxglove, so I'm hoping that she's going to be
generous.
Yeah. So and just one more time, Tom, and I do apologise. Chopper Isle, the house belongs to who?
It belonged to Dervin Guest, known as the Sandpoint Chopper.
Right, and that was the previous. Sheriff.
Standpoint Chopper is the person who killed the previous sheriff.
Ah.
I was going to say, he sounds like a serial killer.
Yeah, I think I might have covered this briefly in the first session.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned something about a serial killer.
Okay. Ooh, wicked. Okay, carry on to the inn.
Yeah, and at that point, Hemlock's going to. I need to go and see Mayor Deverin, so I will leave your evening. But if you do find it time to go to Shopper's Isle, just let me know so I don't send men that I don't have up there because my manpower is somewhat limited.
It's safe to say that we'll go. So
Yeah, we'll go, but we want to spend
just
the
not
night
now.
first.
So we'll shall we say first light? We'll set off.
I would
Yeah,
greatly appreciate it.
with.
I would also ask that you keep the journey to yourselves.
It's all right. We haven't got any other
His-
friends.
His legacy has put a dark cloud over the city, and there's been panic enough as it is. I don't want people thinking there might be another sentiment.
I feel like as Henlock sort of talking this through, sort of Zegric sort of stood there just sort of nodding, not saying very much, maybe explaining a few things, like the information that my brother's given us, this is why we call it that and stuff. But most of the time he's just sort of stood there nodding like, yeah, this is bad juju if we tell everyone that we go up there, sort of thing.
Dastor's just looking a bit disgruntled at the fact we're going at first light because he likes a lion.
Like a lion with bacon and racism.
Is that how he likes his eggs in the morning?
Well done.
Man with braces.
Scrambled.
Unless they're cat eggs, I don't like cat eggs at any stage in the proceedings. They're not as chocolatey as they look.
Just to clarify as well, I am playing Dastor. This isn't me.
Yeah.
It's okay, Lars. We know you're a raving racist.
So Hemlock.
I really struggled to get through my interview in EMAS.
Equality and diversity. Who gives a fuck?
What's that?
Yeah, Hemlock then kind of takes his leave and just bids you a good night, kind of curtly. And it's also, and Zegric, you'd know this, it's probably the most he's ever mentioned Dervin Guest since the incident. So it's clearly playing on his mind.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't speak about it. He doesn't really talk about what happened. He just came back with Dervin Guest's dead body and the previous sheriff's dead body. So,
Is there anywhere else in town worth having a little explore before we go to the tavern?
it's getting towards it's getting towards late afternoon, but you are also all battered. So
Yeah, let's head to the tavern then.
And if we go to bed, within the next hour, then it'll feel like we've had a lion.
So is there anything you want to do before you enter the Rusty Dragon, or
Yeah, going in.
Going in?
Straight to the Rusty Trombone.
You walk into the Rusty Dragon. It's quite expansive, actually. It's one of the two inns. Like there are other bars and taverns, but this is one of the only two inns in Sandpoint where you can actually rent a room. And it's also.
I'll ask the barkeep if there's a room big enough for all of us, or whether we need more than one.
So there's very few customers in, actually. I think and there's very few people in. There's a fire lit, but there's only one or two customers. Maybe like Soot Dragon, maybe the houses have burnt down or something, or we don't know for sure. But Ameiko, the lady you spoke to earlier, who sent you to look for Aldur and Fox Lovers. Ah, yes. I assume Hemlock sent you my way.
Yes.
Excellent. So for your services towards the town, I'd like to offer you all free accommodation and free food for the next week. And if I understand that Hemlock he didn't tell me what it was, but he had a task for you. If you undertake work on the behalf of the sheriff, you're welcome under my roof anytime.
Sweet.
That's appreciated.
Dastor says good lass and a smacker on the back of the knees.
And then she's going to lay out 5-pint glasses full of ale. take a seat. We'll bring your meals over to you. And yeah, no, thank you very much.
Yeah,
You said
take
sit
it.
down.
I'll find if there's any little dark nook that I can go and lurk in and look ominous with a table in front of it, and see if we can all get around it. I can pretend I'm Raceling from the first Dragonlance book.
Right. I'm going to ping off detect evils at everyone.
Nobody. Yeah, there's nothing in the tavern, mate.
Miko, not evil.
Dastor's going to gather all 5 of the beers and take them over to the table. He's going to cast detect beer.
I'll lean over to Dastor and say, "Mine's worth 5 gold. You're welcome."
Yeah,
Oh, bloody hell, it's an expensive pint.
yeah.
Dastor's like, don't worry, you keep it.
Cheese.
Is it?
That should be a cantrip.
Well, I forget how much I owe Dastor. I'm hoping it was 5 gold, and then that's it.
I think I logged
Oh, is it 10?
down.
Tom? Well, we're halfway there.
It's 10. Oh, 2 of these beers are yours, aren't they, Dave?
What's the atmosphere like?
Somber. I mean, you probably realistically like people are in and out, but you're the only real clientele there.
Okay.
They certainly weren't expecting it. It's supposed to be a joyous occasion, and then they were not expecting
Okay.
this at all. So pretty somber. It seems as well like America has taken in some of the people whose homes are currently not like watertight and stuff.
Sure.
But they're all upstairs. They don't really want to, they're not feeling it. So.
Okay. No one's looking destitute though.
No, not particularly. I mean, not particularly. I mean, some of the houses here aren't great to begin with. They're a bit they're almost slummish in some places, but
Okay.
No one's like, oh no, my life's over. Do you know what I mean? Like they're pretty hardy people. I mean, they've just local history. The townspeople paid for the repair, the building of the new cathedral.
Okay.
So they're pretty hardy.
Yeah.
They're pretty resolute people.
So I'll address the rest of the party then. So what's the plan for the morning then? I mean, for my money, we've got a destination to go to. We've got an investigation to follow up, but I'd also like to get close to the mayor at some point. I'd like to get close to Father Xanatus. Yep. He's on the list of people that we need to rule out in terms of higher officials. I mean that theatre dude he's a theatre dude. Automatically suspicious in my eyes. But it depends what you want to do. Are we wake up in the morning and head straight for the Isle, or did you want to poke around town first?
I'm up for going in.
Straight to the Isle.
Drinking his beer, so.
There was apologies, Mark. Remind me the name of your character.
Mortis.
Mortis. Thank you. Sorry, mate. Eventually, stick. Zegric at some point in the evening will approach Mortis. He's very awkward socially. He doesn't socialize very much, so he finds he probably doesn't involve himself too much in the conversation. But he'll approach Mortis and say, "I noticed out there you have some training in the magical arts."
Yeah, I was a squad mage for a little while.
I unfortunately was never trained. Most of my power comes innately. I sort of imagine it and it happens. I was wondering if it would be possible if we could exchange knowledge. So he has a spell book. I have a spell book. Sorry, Zegric has a spell book, and basically what he's basically saying is, can we compare lists? And anything any knowledge I have, I'm happy to share with you. And if I can share any knowledge,
I'm completely cool with that. I mean, I don't know. What actually are you character class wise?
I'm Magus. A lot of our spells do crossover, but we can do that. Mate.
Definitely. You can have access to any spell in my book, no problem.
Cool. That way we can probably
not
get
a
all spells and locks.
Yeah. No, not a euphemism.
We'll do. We'll exchange notes later, mate, if you want.
Yep,
Towards the
no
end of the
problem.
session. Right.
Yep.
Just going back to something you said, Dave. Cerdak Drockus is not suspicious at all, mate. You know, that's quite a hurtful thing to say about one of my NPCs. You know.
Well, it was
Did you want his name?
It was a compliment on you playing him, mate. More than
Did you want his name? Sorry, because I didn't know if you got his name written down.
I got
I
Sardrak
did.
Grokus.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that you got it because obviously I did tell you, so
Yeah.
I didn't know if you missed it.
Yeah, no. I'll tell you one that I'm struggling with. It's my own spelling more than anything else. What I've written is probably totally wrong. Is Longeku Kazudzol.
Yeah, no, I know who you mean. My notes. Longiku Kaijitsu. So Lon Jiku.
Yeah.
KIAJITSU.
KIAG
KIAJ.
J
Yeah, ITSU.
IT.
I'll tell you what I'll do.
And who was he?
He was missing from. He was supposed to attend the consecration of the cathedral, but didn't turn up. But that wasn't actually unexpected.
Okay.
I'll put his name in the campaign chat for you.
Okay, I've got it. We're good.
What I'll try and do is while we're on the off time, I'll put up a names of characters so I can just copy paste spellings for you.
Okay.
Stop me drink.
Yeah. Oh, balls. That was just I'm going for a drink. Yeah, so at the minute, I've got a list at the bottom of the name and then not evil or a blank space next to it, and I shall be going through the list one at a time. Okay, any other business for this evening then, gentlemen?
I don't know. Addam's going to have kind of shut his Eidolon away. So that before we went in the tavern, he's kind of like almost touched his Eidolon on the back of its shoulders, and then the Eidolon's almost disappeared into a plane, and there's just a pile of goo left where it was.
Nice.
Dastor's just drinking beer.
My beer.
He's had a taste of yours just to make sure it wasn't poisoned.
Your 5 whole pieces beer.
He's actually tasted everybody's beer just to make sure they weren't poisoned.
Roll Constitution. Sorry, roll a. Oh, what they? It's not.
There is a. There's a thing that I could have done as a spell, wasn't there, about food and drink, purify food and drink. I should have took
Roll
that.
Fortitude save for me.
Fortitude.
Yeah.
You're gonna get drunk.
Nah. Don't touch your sides, mate.
I'm a dwarf. I could drink times 10 of this and I'd be fine.
That was one of the things that frustrated Dave in Naloran. He had a right session of drinking, and he was like, "How's Naloran feeling this morning?" Dude, he's like 22. He's fine.
It was jealousy more than anything else.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, as you get older, just a sip of water before bed, isn't it? And still feel a bit rough.
Yeah.
So,
Right,
we just headed to bed then.
Yeah.
I think long rest. Let's go and do some investigation in the morning.
Well, have you got any healing left, Lars?
Yeah.
It might be worth you burning that off to get us all to max HP, because we don't recover. So when you long rest in Pathfinder, you don't go back to full HP. It's something like you get.
I've already put my hit points back up to full, assuming we're going to get them back. So I was only on 8. So,
I don't even remember everyone taking damage, to be honest. But yeah, I can do that. It's,
I think a lot of it is when we've leveled up. We're all pretty much max HP. We've leveled up, and it's just filling that gap now.
I'm 8 off, but I've got. Do I get all my spells back after a long rest, Tom?
Yes.
Yeah, so I've got access to 4 lay on hands, which is D6.
And I think is it you recover your level.
It's 1 hit point per character level.
Yeah.
So I
Points.
was
So
on 8, but then
So
I got,
we'll all recover 2 HP.
and then we had the new ones that we didn't have before, just leveled up, haven't we?
Now I think that's a little harsh. Not gonna lie
It is a
to you.
bit. If it was like your level plus your con or something, it wouldn't be too bad. But
What I'll say is you can make one if you're happy for me to house rule it, because that's insane. I'll give you a roll of your character's hit dice on a long rest.
Sounds,
And
yeah,
I'll
definitely.
double it up every odd level. So when you hit 3rd, you can roll it twice. When you hit 5th, 3 times. But
Sound.
because that's harsh. I won't lie to
I'm
you.
trying to find my hit points again now. I did all
You're a D6. If that helps you.
I'm a D8.
I'm in spells, you see. That's why I can't find
I miss what you just said, Tom. You're allowing us to spend hit dice?
So you'll get 1 hit dice,
Yeah.
but they'll double up every odd level. So you get 2 at 3rd, 3 at 5th,
Okay.
4 at 7th.
And that's just for a long rest.
Yeah,
Wicked.
because I think 1 per character level on a long rest is really harsh.
Yeah. Okay.
It used to be pathetic in original D&D. It was awful.
Yeah.
If you got a twat in and there was no healer, then it took you about 2 weeks to get back to full.
And this is it. So the guys who made Pathfinder, I think they made like 3rd edition D&D or something. They were part of that. So that's where it comes from. That sort of more difficult healing. Well, I rolled an 8, so I'm laughing.
So
they did change it for Pathfinder 2nd edition. So
Yeah.
they obviously realised it was a bit.
So I got a 5. I got 5 extra hit points, I think. So I was on 8. I got 5 from going up a level, so that would be +5, and then plus a D8 or D6, isn't it? D6 for
So you don't
wizard.
get your hit points. Your max goes up, but your current doesn't go up when you level up.
Right, that makes perfect sense. So
So you have to heal your
fine.
current
D8.
up to your max, or you're supposed to have just gone up with it.
No. So you just alter your max when you level up, and then on the long rest you get your healing from your hit dice, which most of you are D8, I think. I think the only one who isn't is Dave, who's a D10.
Oh, am I
Off the
D8
top of my
as well?
head. No, you're D6.
Yeah, I
I
thought
was
so.
gonna tack that on at the end. But the rest of you, I believe.
How do I roll a D6?
On the left-hand side, dude, you've got the little menu with the pointer, the paintbrush, the magnifying glass, the ruler, and then the dice. And then you just click the D6.
Left of the map. If you look at the map of Sandport.
Map of Sandport.
Hang on, I'll tell you what. Let me switch my camera.
Found the map. I was looking on my character sheet like that. So it's just
Dastor wants to know if anyone else is still injured then, because I do have all my spell slots because I only used Fire Belly once.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not on full. I've just rolled a 3.
I mean,
so,
Adam's got 11 hit points.
I have now
I've
got 11 hit points.
11. Anyone else lower or higher?
I'm on 11.
I'm full.
Tom, if you look at my character sheet, I've got 4 of Cure Light Wounds I can use, right?
No, you haven't got your extra spell slot yet. You don't get to your long rest. So you've got 3, but you used Fire Belly, so you've got 2. I think you might have actually cured Light Wounds somebody during that as well. It might have been Dave off the first combat, yeah.
So you've still got 1.
Still got 1.
So one of you lucky guys.
Well, I hang back
anyway. Positive energy.
Yes, you can. You've got channel positive energy as well, which is a class feature. So it should be under addition.
In your group heal, you'll heal everybody with that.
Yeah. I think we set it up so it'd roll it, I believe.
It comes out as damage, but do you just take that as positive as obviously not as damage?
Because it's the same roll as if you're doing it against undead. That's why it reads as damage. But yeah.
So is that 2 heal for everybody?
It's 3. I don't know why it's rolled it twice.
So that's from 11 to 14.
Is that everyone on full, or does someone else need a lay on hand?
I'm still 5 points off.
I've still got a cure.
What's your max HP, Mark?
19. I'm on 14 now.
Wow. Okay.
How are you on 19?
I don't know.
I'm 20.
You get
max.
You got a high con.
16. So it's +3.
So
So you'd start.
So I'd have had 9 at first.
Nine.
Hang on, that's
that
not
can't be
It's gone
right.
wrong.
It can't be. It can't be right.
Have you added your hit points to your max again this session by accident? Do you know when you accidentally undid it?
I don't think so. So I would have been on. So it would have been. I know. I can remember. I got 5 extra. So if I had
You'd have
start
started
with
6,
you'd have
11.
started with 9.
started with 9, you're quite right. So it'd be 9 plus 5 is
13.
14.
Yeah, but it's you rolled 5 plus your con modifier, which is 3.
Oh, right. So
You roll quite well, so that actually
14,
does give you
15.
18.
So it'd be. Oh, hang on. Yeah, 18. That makes
Oh,
You just roll you because you get your max at start and then you roll quite
Yeah.
well on a d6. That's
Yeah,
all.
it was a
Yeah.
5 on the d6. 5, 6.
yeah.
So
And a +3 con for a wizard is actually quite unusual.
So it should,
Yeah.
so it should be 17.
9
That's-
plus 5 plus 3, so 14.
Yeah,
Yeah, 17. Yeah.
17. Max 17.
sorted.
That's really good for a level 2 wizard.
It is, isn't it? That's why I was thinking I
Yeah.
must have done something, must have clicked something here. I'm nearly on full now, so I'm 14 out of 17. So, you know,
And I didn't want to sound like I was doubting you, dude, but even I was like, that's really
no,
high.
I was just thinking, cause, I mean, especially when I always consider, I know it's a D6 now, but it was always a D4 when I started. I was thinking, that looks impossibly high.
I'll give
I
you a lay on
remember you
hands,
had-
mate.
Oh.
Yeah, you're on full. Another 4.
17. Brilliant.
So I remember
you.
you having more hit
Jake,
points
what
than I
about you?
expected you to have. So,
If I roll my hit dice, I'm back on full.
So everyone else is on full.
We're all on full
Yeah.
now. So
It's
we
just
get
me
we all
then.
get our spells back then. Oh,
Yep.
Yeah.
What are you crying for? What do you want? Hey? You're not getting fed again.
you'll have somewhat restful night's sleep with the events of the day. Dreams that come. They're not nightmares, but they're also not particularly pleasant dreams. And you wake up feeling fairly refreshed and level 2, as per the end of the last session.
So, I said we'll get. I say have a bit of breakfast. Hopefully, we'll not have to pay for it. We'll get on and start checking out this island.
Plenty of bacon, plenty of eggs, plenty of bread.
Sounds good.
Delicious.
Any beans? I like beans.
No beans, I'm afraid.
I
No,
like beans.
no
Good bit of
beans.
sauce.
Okay then. Question: Branston beans or Heinz beans?
Don't care.
All of it is the devil's food.
Yeah, my wife hates beans. I don't get it, but she'll eat the hula hoopy things. What are they called? Spaghetti
Oh,
hoops.
spaghetti hoops. Yeah.
She'll eat them, but not beans. I'm like, it's the same thing.
It's the old army ration packs for me. So the old army ration packs, all the breakfast choices were burger and beans, bacon and beans. Something it was always beans, and I've got to a point where I'm like, I cannot eat fucking beans.
Just induces depression.
In World War One, it was plum jam and bully beef. That's all they had for like weeks. You when you were at the front lines.
Not for life.
And if it was really hot in the summer, the bully beef would be all melty and mushy. And in the winter, it was a solid block.
Have you seen that guy on YouTube who like has all the old rat packs from like World War One and 2 and stuff?
Oh, and he tastes them, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That guy opens them and tastes them. Oh, yeah. He doesn't enjoy most of them, if I can remember the episode. I saw.
Yeah.
Bet his arse doesn't either.
Yeah.
They're all looking a bit dry.
Yeah.
I'm sure his shits don't.
Hey, I had a patient the other night. I asked them about their bowel movements, and they genuinely described their bowel movement as like soot. And I was like, "What do you mean, like soot?" And I was like, "That does not sound right."
That means not only are you already dead, you've been cremated.
I was like, "Do you mean soot? Like what's come out of like a fire?" Yeah, I was thinking, and it was an old person. I thought, "You must be dying. Like that's bad."
I'll stop you there. Hospital.
Yeah. How do you explain that as well to a doctor site? Like soot, you know, like
black
what-
powder.
My main concern and reason for bringing him into hospital today is their bowel motions are like soot.
Yeah,
bless
that's,
her.
that's pretty bad.
I wonder if she's been taking dietary lessons from Little Britain.
Anybody? No. Dust.
Dust. No, dust.
Yeah,
Bastard.
I used to love them.
It's
They'd never get away
delicious.
with that now because of the unconvincing transvestite. It'd never be allowed these
Yeah.
days. I'm a
Only
lady.
getting the village and stuff as well.
Yeah, I mean that would have been allowed then if he hadn't have been gay, openly gay. He wouldn't have gotten
Yeah.
away with that. You could have had some bum fun then.
Right,
Right
we're
then.
up, we're fed, we're watered.
We're off. We're going. So we've got no mounts, have we? Because we're skin bellends. So let's. Mind you, it's not
Yeah.
even very far, is it? According to yonder map.
We're not all skinned. Thank you very much.
Oh, hello.
I did quite
So-
well.
If you're looking at your journal as well, I've just made available to you a player art handout, which is the Sandpoint Skyline.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Is that? Oh yes, I see that. Oh, pretty.
Is there any chance, as kind of like first thing in the morning, I've now took the time, as soon as I've gone outside, I've been like messing about with my scar tissue and I've been pulling my Eidolon out of it and summoning him.
Do you want to spend your
Back for
minutes
duty.
in right one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fine.
It only takes a minute. It's a pretty quick summon.
Yeah, that's fine, mate. Yeah, that's fine. Or you can wait until you get to the outskirts of town if you don't want to disturb everybody. Because I mean, I can't imagine it's particularly pretty.
I mean, he just find a dark corner to kind of poke himself.
It's not put
Yeah,
that score
It's
off
the
of
best
his
place to
beats.
poke yourself.
To like drop in between the Rusty Dragon
Between
and
the
the next
buildings.
bit. Yeah, just like
Yeah.
yeah. All right, mate, of course.
I think Argus
to be
has
fair,
sort
you-
of stroll round the corner to make sure Adam's all right, see him, and then just instantly turn around.
Yeah, and you notice like a few of the dock workers heading down to the docks to start their day. You know, some of them have already started. Some of them are a bit late due to the previous day's proceedings. So
Yeah.
Okay,
I
but
mean-
it's mostly business as usual as far as the town's concerned.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, what else can you do, right? So
Would
Right.
there be any chance we could have a quick wander down to the dock to see if I could acquire a chain?
Yeah. Don't see why
chain.
not. Isn't that it's sort of on the
um,
way anyway? Don't we have to sort of go past there?
you go in north actually, but
Oh God, I'm looking at the I'm just seeing where the dock actually
no,
is.
you're all right. But you can take the time if you want to. The other place you'd go is Sava's Armory. They might have something for you there.
Does it specifically need to be a chain?
Yeah, because it's one of my components for a spell.
Oh, okay.
Right, so we need to go to a hardware blacksmith type establishment for the
I mean,
chain.
from Adam's perspective, he's quite happy to tea leaf it because he's quite skint. So he's more than happy
Oh,
just to acquire,
we got some,
acquire a chain.
have we got some party treasure now that we looted from the goblins?
So we need to find a Pathfinder B&Q.
Yep.
No,
And
a general
then
store.
check out the armory because, as you say, people have got money, might want to spend it. Who knows?
Yeah, so there's a general store run by Wim Vander, I believe his name is. By the Vander family, certainly. Ven Vander, sorry. There's also Sava's Armory. You could try, or you could try, the dock, see if you can find a loose bit of chain somewhere. In fact, if you ask Minato very nicely, he might go and see what he can do for you.
That sounds like a
Problem is,
reasonable.
That does sound reasonable.
Yeah, get him to go. Yeah.
Yes.
He'll
Yeah,
probably
he's kind
come
of-
back poor in it.
The only other
just
reason
find him
to-
on the docks later. Just
The only other reason to potentially go anywhere is to try and sell the masterwork horse chopper that we've got.
yeah.
Yeah.
Roll knowledge
Oh,
local for me.
Say again, sorry.
Dastor.
Roll knowledge local for me.
That'd be you, Sam.
Do you want me to? Yeah.
Dastor's just looking at Argus and tapping his coin purse. Just to let you know he hasn't forgot.
I mean, you don't know. Yeah.
I'm on fire.
Sam just loves
Yeah.
knowing stuff about the local area.
I mean,
I don't think you can read my character's backstory, but he is a local. He grew up not far from Sandpoint too, and when things happened in his family, he uses Sandpoint as sort of his base of operations, as it were. So it is logical that he would know these things. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right then, I think we've got. Shall we go to the armory? If we're getting the chain sorted for us, shall we just nip the armory, see if anyone needs anything from there?
so you know that Sava's Armory is probably the best and probably the only place that's going to take something like a masterwork horse chopper, because it's the goblin weapon, so it's not particularly sought after. So it's mainly worth its material components of metal.
Sell it to Mrs. Miggins in a pie shop, because I'm sure in Blackadder there was some mention of a horse's chopper. It's made that horse's willy last him all morning. This big sausage is very suspicious.
And just let me give you a rough idea as to where. Oh, why do I keep losing the tab? Let's use that one. It's not that one. It's not that one. It's that one. Right, so we're looking for the armory. Number 12. So that's why I keep losing it, because it doesn't minimize very well. 12. Sava's Armory is here. So it is actually on your way up to Chopper's Island.
Oh,
Tidy.
superb.
Yeah.
Right, well, let's head there. I'll keep watch outside, so I can't use anything except what I've already got.
Okay. So again, Sam, you would know this just rolling on that roll, because Jesus Christ. The owner is Sava Bavanicki. I don't know. SAVAHBEVANIKY. The armory actually looks undamaged, but you also do notice like a big blacksmith's hammer out front that's covered in blood. So you know, she's a big girl and she defends the shop pretty.
It's undamaged for a reason.
Yeah.
Brianna Tar type.
Yeah.
Whilst this is going on, is there anywhere that because Dastor's hungry again? Is there anywhere that he could just like brew up some tea and
well, as you pass through
a bit of bread?
the marketplace, there's plenty of stalls there that are kind of maybe not the freshest, because you know, obviously with the what happened yesterday, people probably weren't up that early today. They're probably not that motivated to get up and make sure everything's, you know what I mean? Like, they're going about business, but they are a little bit, you know.
Yes.
Something a bit of shock.
Yeah. So they're going through the motions, but it's not quite there. But you can get yourself a brew and a heel of bread for like 2 copper pieces or something like that. If you want anything more exotic, tell me and we'll see what you can find. We'll roll for it.
No, that's good. He's had his breakfast. This is just dessert. So he's just gonna have a cup of tea and like a
Second
biscuit or
breakfast.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, so Dave, you're going to be the one who's probably going to want stuff in here if it's an armory.
Do you want me to just take 2 coppers off, Tom, and say you've had them?
Yeah, please. Yeah. So if you walk in, she'll look up. She'll look up from the forge. The heroes of Sandpoint. Welcome. Please come in. How can I be of service to you today?
Argus is very businesslike. I think he'd recognise. I mean, I'm assuming that she was the wielder of the hammer and she's protected it, so she's got the look about her. I think it'd be a simple case of the masterwork horse chopper and the studded leather. I'd produce them from my backpack, lay them on the counter, and just say, "These are the spoils that we took from the leader. Wonder if we can exchange, maybe.
Now. Oh dear. These are the goblin make. I mean, this, and she picks the horse chopper up. Now, this is actually good work for goblin. I won't lie to you. The material's pretty good, at least. I could probably melt that down for something or other. Leather's not really my thing, though, I'm afraid. I mean, I could take it off your hands, but I wouldn't. You're better off taking that to a tanner, if I'm honest with you. I probably won't give you the best price for it. But I could take the leather. I could take the.
If somebody can wear it, I'd wear it. If it's better than what.
Small, that's the problem.
It's small, yeah, so it's the wrong size. However, I mean, this horse chopper, I mean, costs a lot of money to make a weapon like this. I'd give you 200 gold for it.
Wow.
Can Dastor, being a dwarf, would I do like an appraisal?
I was just
or
about to
something
say
like
this one about appraisal.
Yeah, roll
Check.
price.
It's a good price. I've not got the greatest appraisal. I've only got one in it, but I'll roll it.
Oh, do you
I
want
was
me to roll?
expecting him to say
I've got a
12
plus
silver
4.
or something.
Oh, I've only got one. Yeah, you roll it then. Whilst Dastor's going to spit his
The
bread.
Dastor doesn't aid on that check, we'll say. Okay, so you know that to buy this item, to have it made, and for it to be masterwork, you'd have to pay for it to be custom made. You'd pay 310 gold pieces for it. You also know.
She's offered 200, which I think is all right.
So you also know that generally when buying, you get 10% of value when you buy weapons. When you sell weapons, sorry. I believe.
Yeah,
so it's a really good price.
Don't quote me on it. I think that's the rule, but
she's given us about 60% of the value, isn't she? Really?
Yeah.
So probably Zegric will probably.
Let's accept that offer with a hearty okay then.
Yeah, and you can roll sense motive on that if you want to see if there's a reason why she's doing that.
That's what I was going to be my next job.
Dastor's
I'm not even inside, so I'm waiting outside, checking to make sure no one runs at us while we're out in there.
So I'm still in that. I want to try and prompt you with checks because it's still relatively new system. So I apologise for baby handing you a little, but I don't want to miss out. So yeah, boop. So
Sam,
20.
But it's still lower than Dastor's sense motive at a 20.
That's because I've got 10 as already in it.
We're going to be in combat, and I'm going to roll ones.
Yeah.
So you will get the impression that you've done the town of service, right? So she's offering you offering you over the odds because you've helped out, and she's likely going to put this. She's not probably going to sell this. She's going to put this over the top of her blacksmith as, the goblin leader's weapon that attacks Sandpoint in age, blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be more like a museum piece, which is why she's willing to give you a bit more for it. Bit of history, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think we should chuck the leather armor in for nothing, as it was such a good offer.
Dastor's on the same.
Yeah, Zegric will say to Argos, it's a damn good price, better than what anyone else will offer us.
Dastor's going to say the poor woman's been through enough, and then just carry on dipping his bread and drinking his tea.
But she says she'll give you a gold piece of leather.
I'll with the horse chopper on both on the counter. I'll just slide them over and say 200 gold. Pleasure doing business.
She offers her hand out.
Shake her hand.
Shake it, and then she hands you 200 gold pieces and says, "Oh, you ever need some armor? You come see me. 20% discount." Kind of winks, takes stuff off, goes back to work.
Okay.
Oh, she winked at you, Dave.
Could you? Is there anything? What have you got, Dave? Is there anything in the shop that might be better than what?
I'm not going to push it at this point. I am brassic, and I spent all my money on. Are you talking full plate 1,000 gold pieces?
Yeah, we have.
If you want to see the replacement set of her, that's 800 gold pieces now. So that's lifetime discount, 20%.
That's awesome.
Wicked. And that's Sava Divin Bevan. Doesn't matter.
It's very Eastern European, isn't it?
Yeah.
So just so we know,
Bevaniki.
does she have a Wazo pair of jugs?
She's a large lady, mate. I'll leave that to your imagination, but she's a large lady.
Dastor wants to know if she gave him the eye also, or if we
Oh
just
yeah,
went-
like it wasn't a flirtatious wink; it was a friendly wink. She's
Yeah.
not happily married. This lady is.
Oh,
Ah,
Sorry,
Dastor's
sorry to
upset.
disappoint you all.
yeah.
Jake's just gutted he's not playing ace in this game.
Wow. She wouldn't be married.
Not for long. Right. Okay. Argus would just turn around, walk out, pleasure do it, shake hands, cordial, and then done.
So we've got 200 gold in the party treasure, which is nice.
Yeah, I've got it in my character sheet. If that's all right, chaps.
Yeah.
Sound.
We go to the Brumbrick
At
rule.
this point, Minato kind of sidles up to you, Addam, and kind of just slips a small little piece of metal chain into your hand. Just kind of nods. As he rolled pretty well on
Addam
his
just-
sleight of hand and stealth.
I saw that.
And he says, "I've found a little bit of chain."
I want it back later, yes?
Oh, he's Russian. Yeah, sorry, I forgot Tom doing his voice.
He's
He's
kind
he's
of, yeah, Lewis kind of voiced him as a little bit Russian,
Did
didn't
anybody
he? So-
ever see a program called Mongrels?
No.
Yes,
No, there was
puppets.
there was there were puppet animals. It was the wrongest.
Fox.
There was two foxes.
Yeah.
One was like really, really metrosexual and poncy, and his cousin was properly like, "Yeah, I'm a fox." And he says, "Oh, lovely to see you. How are the 6 cubs?" "I've eaten them." He says, "What?" He says, "Well, I had to. I was hungry and I couldn't find a spoon for my moolah rice." Later on, you see the fox finding the spoon and goes, "Oh well, that's 6 young lives needlessly wasted." It was utter genius. Sorry. Anyway, we were heading off to the island, weren't we?
Mm.
Yep.
Now we're done in the armory.
Unless there's anything else you want to do on the way.
I'm
You're
cool.
currently here. So,
No,
Going
let's.
forward.
Should we just get to it?
Yeah.
okay.
I'll go and smoke an Arno and I'll be ready to roll.
No one had
Fucking
no.
banana.
No one had no. I know, and it's a simple one. It goes from one extreme to the next.
I'm well off with this dinosaur thing now. I'm going to change mine up. Next thing's going to be helicopter.
Well, I'll let you change it every session, so you can send me your
Okay.
guesses beforehand, and we'll do fresh ones every session.
Okay.
So yeah.
Whilst he's doing that, I'll grab a beer.
Unfortunately, my partner's ignoring me. I've asked her if she'd bring me a drink up, and I've had no reply. But,
If there's drink, I might go and get a drink. I'll be back in a sec.
yeah, I might go as well. Actually, I'll be 2 seconds. Well, I'll be able to speak to you. I just won't be on camera.
On your own, Jake.
I'm on my own. But it's okay. I've got some things that I need to sort out on my computer.
Ah.
Oh.
Oh, dear.
So are we en route?
You
Well,
are
sorry,
indeed
I
on
think. Oh, Tom's still there.
Yeah, I've gone for a drink, but
Right. Oh, feel like a small jar.
oh dear. Right. How much battery's this thing got? Can I leave it off charge? Yes.
Tommy, you going War on the World on the 28th?
I am, yep.
Yeah.
That's the plan. I'm going to have a COVID booster in the morning at 9 o'clock, but I'll go straight from the doctors.
Have you guys got to have COVID boosters? Because you're NHS. Is it mandatory?
No.
I work for JCB, so
Oh.
but they're trying to make it mandatory. So if they find out you haven't had it, they get up your arse.
Because I don't get why anyone cares. Because you transmit the virus whether you're vaccinated or not. So the only person you're putting at risk is you. And I think you should be allowed to put you at risk as long as it's in an informed way. It annoys me that.
They're not. They can't. So they stopped him. They were going to obviously enforce the vaccination process across anybody that was NHS. So you had to have both your initial jabs. But then they had to pull it.
I've had the initial 2, but I never bothered with the booster because I'm not convinced. Having had COVID since before I was due it, it's like I'll just get COVID. It's not that bad.
Yeah, and they've been putting the effectiveness of the jabs down more and more, aren't they? Saying they're less and less effective.
I think it's because they've spent an unfeasible amount of money on vaccines and they want to use them before they go off.
It's flu that's bad at the minute.
Yeah,
Influenza A. It's absolutely rife and making people really poorly.
See, the flu vaccine I've always found to be a bit stupid anyway, because you're just fighting fires, aren't you? Because it's mutating all the time.
It's why there's no cold virus, because that mutates so fast that it's actually impossible to. By the time you'd formulated a vaccine, it'd be totally different. It wouldn't do anything.
I get it for like vulnerable people, though. They want to just try and get.
As I say, because I know people that have from a couple of mad conspiracy theorists, which makes no sense. I'm not even going to get into that, but I know a couple of people that haven't had it simply because they're a bit worried about the sort of newness and the fact it didn't go through the regular test process and what have you. And I think it's really harsh to give people shit about getting it when, as you say, the only person whose health you're risking is yourself, because if you've been vaccinated, you can still carry and transmit COVID just as well as if you haven't. So I don't understand. It seems strange. But then Pfizer have made how much?
I made quite a bit of money off AstraZeneca stocks.
Yeah.
So that's all that matters, really.
Yeah. So somebody can get really rich. Who isn't us?
It's dodgy, isn't it? I don't know.
And they've offered us 1.8% pay rise as well. It's like, you can fuck right off. We are going on strike.
Oh boy.
Oh, don't mention strikes. Are we ready? Are we back?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're ready to rock and roll now.
Okay, so to get up to Shopper's Isle, you've got to go across Junkers Bay. Now, Junkers Bay is such named because that's where everyone dumps like waste. And not like, we're not talking about like people waste. We're talking about like industrial waste, like like offcuts of metal. The waste from like the glassworks are another good example.
Oh, so it's an unpleasant chemical soup.
Not so much that, but it's more like it's solidified.
It's solidified.
It's like it's chartered, so they can't just like dump stuff in the water. But it's a bit of a dumping ground. There are lots of rusty metal and things like that. You're going to down Junkers Beach, across up to Chopper's Isle, and as Zegric remembered the night before, the stairway that was built up to Durban Guest's house was actually burnt down. So there's going to be a bit of climbing involved here.
So that feather fall that I picked is going to be handy, I imagine, at some point in the near future.
Always a handy spell.
So is it the fact that are we heading up towards the house because we speculate that the goblins came up from here, or were organised from here?
Hemlock suggested that at the very least they might have had a lookout post on Chopper's Isle.
Okay.
Watching
because I don't know if my Eidolon's got like smell capability, so I don't know whether it could almost like be sniffing around.
Let's have a look at your Eidolon.
I'm sure, right?
Bite, limbs, link, share, spells, claws, improvise, natural armor, and hang on. Let's pull up the
Because I know Addam can do like a link with his Eidolon, which gives him kind of can see and smell through the Eidolon's senses.
A quick look. You have the biped form, don't you?
A quadruped.
Quadruped, sorry. That's yeah. There's nothing about improved sense of smell there. I think it might be one of the attached to one of the evolutions you can take, but I don't think you've taken that one.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, you can take scent, but you don't have it.
So I think
There-
first bit when we get over there, how are we getting across? Do we need to go? Do we need a boat, or can we get there on foot?
So you can get there. You can take a boat if you want to. If you want to go down to the docks to try and charter a little boat to take you round, but you can get across on foot.
That's what we should do, I think, because we can just check everywhere as we go.
Yeah, and obviously the other thing is that lots of big metal offcuts and stuff being down on the beach is a good place to hide.
Yeah. Well, I think we
So-
need to go and check it out.
Okay.
Is Dastor going to sink here? Being the
You're on a beach. You're fine.
short. Cool.
You
He's
don't
not
want to
gonna
be out there when tide comes in late on in the day, but
We'll be able to see the high tide line, won't we? So we know roughly.
yeah.
Make sure we're back before then. Can we see anything as we approach?
Perception or survival checks, please, gentlemen.
Right.
Dealer's choice. If you want to aid somebody with it rather than making the check yourself, you can. So the aid, when you roll to aid, you roll the skill. If you get over a 10, you add +2 to the person whom you're aiding's roll. So if you
I'll
want to
aid
do one
someone.
perception, one survival, and then everybody else aid, which is a better skill, or
Let me see which is.
I can do guidance on somebody. I've got great perception already.
Right, well,
I've got
get
8
guidance on
perception.
yourself. I'll assist you. And how many people can assist? Because we might as well just have one really good
many.
roll. So
But
shall we?
what I'll say is give me one survival and one perception check, and split your aid as you want.
All right. So here's me perception. 11.
Yeah.
And what was the other one? Sorry, survival.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do one or the other. You can't do
Either
both.
or, not
Oh.
both.
Well, that
I'm going to do
would have been
a
the
bit of
first one.
perception.
Okay, so.
Oh, we're not doing them both and picking
Oh,
one. We're just
Jesus
doing either or.
Christ.
Sam's
would have been
turned
my
up
first
again.
one.
Right, so
Here you go.
Mark evaded. Are you going perception, mate?
Yeah, it was. But I rolled perception first, so
Yep.
I'll take that. Was the it was 11 on the
Okay,
the
so-
dice
And who's doing the actual? So
I'll do
We'll
the actual
roll.
perception check
Right,
because
okay,
you've got
cool.
a higher, better
because I
one.
got a 21.
Yes.
Okay, cool. And then Lars, are you doing are you aiding on the perception? Or are you making the survival check?
Well, we've got 21 on perception. What was the highest survival we got? 9.
Yeah,
10
hang on.
for Mark.
I'll roll it for Minato as well. Give me a second.
Can I roll survival for my Eidolon as well?
You either have skills, you can roll them, yeah.
Skills. They're multiplying.
And is that to
I would-
aid or is that to make the check?
That's he'd probably make his own check, and then I was potentially going to do the thing with Addam where he can.
Smell a canoe at 30 feet.
Did we say we can both aid him?
Yeah, we all can.
Yeah, so
I
what,
can do guidance as well.
Yeah.
What I wanted was someone to make the survival and someone to make the perception, and then for you to divvy up your aid between those two checks. That
Oh,
was the
cool.
intention.
Should we scratch all that then and just pick 2 people now to do it, and we'll start and do that then?
Yeah, shall we? Because there's a lot of roles there for me to work through.
Yeah.
So who's making the perception and who's making the survival? Now Mimito's got a +4 to survival.
Well, Sam's the absolute king dingaling at skill rolls, so.
That's it now. Lost it. It's going to be a 1.
And any advance on +4 survival?
No, mine's rubbish.
Mine's +4 as well for my Eidolon.
Mine's terrible. It's not. It's 4.
So with the animal nature, do you want to roll? I'll roll for aid with Mimito, and you can roll the survival with your Eidolon then.
Yeah, can do.
Like an animal companionship because they're both kind of beast-like.
So you need a perception check to add to someone.
Hang on. We'll do a
Okay,
survival.
so definite aid.
Well,
So that's a 16 for your survival. No, sorry. So that's an aid on the perception, I assume.
That one
Yeah.
is, yeah, for me. My one was.
Okay, so do you want to roll the survival check for your Eidolon?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for my computer to wake up.
Yeah, no worries.
It's only a 9.
So that's an 11 total.
Can I do guidance on that as well, which is an extra plus
Not
one?
not retroactively, no, mate. You need to call it beforehand.
Alright.
But you can do it on the perception check.
Who's
I've-
doing the perception check?
I've got 6.
I'll do.
I've got
I've got a +6.
Same.
I've got
Yeah, I just
8.
did aid.
8.
Definitely.
Right. So,
1 aid.
Sam, you aid Zegric.
Yeah.
So-
Sorry, Dastor. Zegric aids Dastor.
And I'll aid whoever's doing the.
Yes, you've got 1 aid on the perception already.
Oh, right. Beg pardon.
Yeah, which is from Mark. Sorry.
Yeah.
Am I
You have
able
as
to
many
aid
as you like.
Am I able to do guidance on myself as well
Yep.
and aid myself?
Yep, so that's 2 aids, and then you can roll. You can add a guidance, and then roll the check with guidance. So you've got a +4 at the moment as well as your guidance.
Oh,
So,
that's
so,
fine.
so I can see if I can aid as well then.
Yeah, you can roll to aid as well. That's fine. You always, if you've not got a particularly good thing in the skill, it's always worth rolling to aid. So that's 3. So that's a +6, and then +1 for your guidance. So it's a +7 total for your perception check. As fair, Addam hasn't gone yet either. So because your Eidolon can do checks as well as you.
Okay, so I would roll to just aid then.
You can either aid or you can make your own survival check. I'll let you roll. Your own
I haven't got a tick in survival or perception.
Doesn't matter.
doesn't matter. You can still roll it. That's fine. But you just don't get bonuses when you add skill ranks into it. You just get the one.
Okay,
Not
my
great.
perception shite.
So the perception check works out to be +6 +1, so +7. So that's 16. So that's actually not that bad, even though you rolled a
Worse
natural
than my
one.
actual check.
The survival check. So you don't see any tracks as such. There's no kind of. I mean, there are tracks, but they're all mishmash, and you know that some crews do come down here looking for pieces of metal if they need to, like, patch a ship or something like that. They might come see if they can get a piece of scrap for free rather than pay for it. There's a lot of that kind of thing, and people just trying to get knickknacks, but you get nothing kind of track wise. But as a group, you do see. You almost feel like you're being watched. Just from some of these, like some of the larger clumps of like metal and scrap, almost feel like you're being watched.
What's the range on your detect evil, Dave?
Thinking something similar.
60 feet, but I have to concentrate on a single item or individual, so it's not
It's not like a radar.
I can't check those corners. I will be shrugging my shield off on
Just
to
get
my
ready
left
for, we're
arm
going to
and
get prepare
and
for
walking-
ambush in every way possible.
walking in front of the party.
Yeah, Zegric will probably hold back so he's at the rear.
Yeah, I'll hang back up next to you.
That's where I need to be.
But I will be attempting to fly casual as I walk forwards with my shield on my arm.
What do you mean? You're keeping your distance whilst not looking like you're keeping your distance?
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening.
Do you want to say anything, or are you just gonna?
No,
Crack on.
I'm just going to keep my eyes peeled because if I'm about to be surprised, I want to be as close as possible so I can charge in.
Okay.
Zegric's going to bluff it. And he's just going to be looking around like he's not actually looking at anything, going, "Oh, it's a beautiful day to be down by the beach." Like, clear as day, trying to bluff his way fucking through it.
And as you say that, you hear like a clang of a slipping foot on top of something. As someone slipped. You just see a little flash of green, but it's not. Yeah, you just see a little flash like a green.
He shoots at it.
Roll tip.
Wit, twoo.
And roll.
Oh, sorry, mate.
50% miss, and then after that, roll for me 50%.
50%.
Yeah.
So it'll be that one because he's not done that.
Oh, you don't need to roll miss chance, mate. That's a miss. That's a natural one.
Told you, didn't I? What did I tell you?
I'm going to start charging towards it.
Whoa! Enough. And popping up from behind, kind of the thing that you shot at, a very familiar looking half orc.
Oh, it's Jeff from the
Is it my buddy?
from the chili eating contest.
Who's
Roll me.
Dastor's gonna hate him because he hates orcs. Hates anything green-skinned.
Somebody
disgusting.
roll me a perception check. Or a knowledge history if you've got it.
I've got knowledge history.
I've got knowledge history as well.
It's your mate from from
Sam.
fighting contest.
Another great roll when it's anything but combat.
right.
Like, hey, we live down here. You walking through, people come down here. It's friendly towards half orcs. He's got his hands up and he's like, "All right, boys," because he sees you charging towards him. He's like, "Yeah, no, fuck that." No, he's literally got like rags on. He's got no weapons. They're like, "No, I'm not fucking with that shit."
I'll ask him if is there anybody, is there anything else on this island other than you and your buddies?
You're down on the beach at the moment, so you're down on this beach.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't go near that thing, and he kind of nods his head towards Chopper's Isle. But
have you seen anything going on over there, or anything that's made you suspicious?
Roll me D100, Dave. Not Dave, sorry, Mark.
Right, D100 coming on. I even remember how to do it.
Sorry, mate.
Whilst this is happening, Dastor's just spitting on the floor because he's just disgusted by him.
40.
No, we don't. Look, we've got nowhere else to go. We just take a shower over here in the work we can. I mean, we don't look up that way. We want nothing to do with it. We know who was up there. We want no part of that. We're not,
Dastor's going to call him a coward.
I didn't mean to do that.
I think I'm
easy for someone wearing a full set of chain and a fucking axe to say, "I've got nothing but a rock."
So August has still got his shield out, and he's not charging now, but he's still walking towards, and he's making his presence felt. And he'll say, "Who's up there?"
Nobody, as far as I know, but it was Durvan's guest house. I ain't going near that shit. None of us are. We know what he did.
What do you mean by us?
I ain't the only half hook on this beach, friend.
What did he do?
And you've not seen any goblins. You've not seen any.
We've got a local historian, haven't we? So don't you know who? What this guy's obviously notorious around these parts. What did he do? He killed the sheriff. We know that.
Yeah. Is he? Do we know? Was he human, half orc?
He was a human. So Durvan Guest was known as the Sandpoint Chopper. There was a spree of about 25 killings, or at least 25. More people may have gone missing. Like people floating for the town, they don't know. But 25 locals went missing. And he was a local artist. So what he built a house up there because he was like most artists, he was a bit eccentric and he liked his own space. So he built his house up on the island, up on what's now known as Chopper's Isle, for a bit of space. But what he used to do was he'd go and carve. He used to do a lot of whittling and carving. He used to carve birds out of wood. And before his time as the Sandpoint Chopper, people would pay him to go into the house and carve birds out of the knobs on stairs. And that's how he made his living. Everyone's removed them now. Nobody has them in the houses. As soon as he was found out to be the Sandpoint Chopper, everyone chopped them out of the houses and burned them.
So
his house was
a way up there. I'll ask the orc again. I know you don't. You say you stay away from it, but is there a way up there? We've been tasked with investigating.
There used to be, but they burnt the staircase down.
There's no other way.
Yeah, you could climb it. I mean, there's enough wood there to help with the handholds, I suppose. I mean,
okay. Well, thank you very much for your. Also, thanks very much for your help.
And as for goblins, if we'd have seen goblins, we'd have told Hemlock.
Yeah.
The only reason we're still alive here is because of Hemlock. He feeds us, gives us what he can, but he's not a rich man himself. You know, we owe that man our lives.
I'm going to have a
Okay.
sense motive on that, if I may.
Yeah,
I
crack
mean,
on.
I think I believe.
My,
him, yeah.
my immediate suspicion is believe, is
Yeah.
to think he's telling the truth, but it's never,
Yeah.
never not worth rolling.
I mean, he's eyeing up Dastor after he called him a coward. But yeah, he's been pretty straight, you know. I mean, you know, Hemlock has a reputation for not being racist, so it makes sense that he's trying to help these people out as much as he can. But
How far away are we from this house that we're after?
so it's probably a good hour and a half to walk across the beach to get to
Okay.
the bottom of the base.
Right.
You've then got to climb up, and it's on the center here, so it's probably a good another 20 minutes away from this edge, which is where
Right.
you'll climb.
Sure.
I think this is where we get our climbing trousers on, lads.
Okay.
Yeah,
righto.
because of Dastor's prejudice, he's already started walking off. He's already like before the conversation's done with this half orc, he's already started walking away.
Yeah, I'll chase after him.
So just saying,
Not
pass
to
it.
make you come back, but just to follow, just to go be on with it, so to speak.
Zegric was saying, passing. If you know what's happened in town, stay safe, stay outside. People are angry.
Yeah. Thanks for the heads up, but we kind of get it. Hey, if we were armed, we'd have helped out fight those fuckers. We don't like goblins any more than you guys do. We're here
No
for
one
you.
likes goblins, dude. They smell.
He sort of half gives him a bit of a half smile and said, "Did a bit of scrap and half with you boys," and he sort of follows on with the rest of the group.
Yeah. Also, from your sense motive, there's a reason that they're here and not with the orc hordes. They'd have a better quality of life if they were, you know, in the holds of bulks in roaming with orc bands than they would here. So there's clearly a reason that they choose not to be there, and they choose even this life of squalor. So there's that. As well.
Dastor's just so stoutly prejudiced, he just won't hear any of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've both got off now, so that's
Yeah.
to follow in. We'll climbing trousers on, and
He might come round to it eventually, like most racists. But it
I'll
just takes
go
him a bit of time.
last because I can react with Featherfall if any of you fall off. So I'll go last.
Yeah.
Well, Dastor's probably going to be the worst climber here, isn't he?
Right. Well, I just need to go and set fire to a kipper. But I say I will if anyone tries and falls off before I'm fully kippered, I will cast Featherfall on them. I'll be back.
So as you approach this mountainside, obviously there is like loose burnt wood around from the stairs. So there are some like aids.
Yeah.
But it's still
How
going to
high is
require
it?
actually a good 150 feet.
Has anyone got any rope on them?
I think I do. Let me just double check.
I do.
I've got a little bit
Yes.
of chain.
It just says rope.
So it'll be 50 feet of hempen rope.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm just wondering if we could bastardize with an arrow, like a way of firing up the rope.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? And use
yeah.
it to lock up the rope in place. And
Yeah, we'd probably, because I'm guessing Minato would be best bet to take lead if he can climb up with the rope, secure it, and then we
Drop
just
it down.
tie ourselves.
Yeah.
Because Dastor's, I'm assuming, is going to be at some sort of disadvantage getting up here.
My
you take
Eidolon's
minus-
also.
Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, I think my Eidolon's quite good at climbing as well. I think I've invested in climb.
Minato's got a +4 in climb.
Oh.
Which isn't that good, actually. He's not invested too well in that.
We have got rope, though. I've got rope as well.
How much rope have you got? You got 3?
I've got 50 foot.
50. Dave's got 50.
Yeah.
And
I've
Dastor's
got 1.
50. Okay.
It'll be a 50-foot hempen rope.
Oh, no, yeah. Sorry, yeah. I've got 1 of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Has anyone fell off?
No, we're just trying to work out how to get a rope up so we can climb a rope and make it easier.
Yeah.
I'm just concerned Dastor won't be able to get up.
That'll take it from a DC 10 to a DC 5 climb check.
So my Eidolon has just as the same as Minato, so 4.
Okay.
And can I cast guidance on him when he's climbing?
Yeah,
That's
sure.
a good idea.
So is the plan tie 3 ropes together, Minato goes up, ties it off up the top? Is that the plan?
It'd
that's
help
what
me
it
because
does.
I've got a -4 with my armor on.
You can take your armor off though. You have people to aid you, so it'd be quicker. But it just depends on if you're expecting a threat right at the top of the cliff or not. It's a risk. It's up to you as you want to take it.
Would this fall kill you?
I've got Featherfall, Dave. Go for it.
It's 1d6 full damage to every 10 feet. Is that right, Tom? To a maximum of like 12d6 or something.
Yeah.
So if you, at level 2, it will kill you at 50 feet probably.
I think it's not worth taking
Well,
your armor off.
No, I'm not. This armor very rarely comes off, and also I've got Mortis to back me up as well, so I'm risking it.
Okay, so Minato goes up. DC 10. Absolutely fucking nails it with the 23. So he's just like, I actually think he gets a bonus to climb to.
Cats can climb like bastards. I
Yeah.
can vouch for that, especially little ones that want to run up your leg.
No, that's 5e apparently. Getting commensurate with the yeah, he's up it like a cat, mate. Just gone. And then he
So
drops the rope down, gives it 2
Wicked.
tugs.
I'll go last. So if
So
Okay.
can
I'll
go next.
go in the middle because I've got Featherfall as well.
I'll get mine out of the way if that's all right.
Go for it.
Yeah, and then Dastor will go next.
You'd have failed that without the rope, mate.
Yeah.
So it's a long and hard climb for you.
Yeah.
But you do get there.
I think Addam would use the.
Oh, sorry, that's yeah, yeah. So both you guys in your armor, you know that but you're wearing armor, so it makes sense that it's it's rough going. But you do get there.
I'll scurry up next.
Oh, no.
I like to scuttle mainly.
So here's a question for you: how's Reedlon getting up? Because your Reedlon doesn't have the opposable thumbs to make use of this rope, mate.
No, so he wouldn't use the rope, so he'd just kind of like bound up.
So he's a DC 10, mate. Not a DC
Okay, so
5.
I'm going to roll Addam first with the rope.
Yep.
Just a 10.
Nailed it. Again, it's not an easy climb, but not too bad.
I think he's not really got a lot of muscle on him. He's quite weedy, so he would find it difficult anyway. Like he's just kind of like gripping onto the rope for dear life. He's not overly fond of heights either. And then my Eidolon. Yeah.
Oh, mate. Same thing.
Scurries up like a bastard.
Boom, boom, just like handhold to handhold, just like almost leaping off them. Work of art, mate. Love it. And Mortis, finally.
Am I last? Am I the last one?
You are the last one, mate.
Right, here we go, climbing. But I'll have to use it on myself. Heal top diplomacy. Here we go. I've got absolutely no bonuses or anything. Why have I rolled twice?
Don't worry about it, dude.
It's fine. So even your lowest roll was enough, so it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Why did he do that? I swear I clicked once.
It's a roll 20 thing. It can be a bit sensitive at times.
Yeah, it's this is my Warcraft playing mouse, and it is a bit dodgy, to be honest.
So
right then, we're all up. So what can we see?
So there's not a lot up here, to be fair, other than almost in the centre of this plateau. It's probably a good 20-minute, probably a good 15-20-minute walk. Just to give you a kind of idea of the actual size.
Can we do the same thing with the perception check that we did last time?
Absolutely. Perception and do you want to make a survival as well, or just want to go perception?
Do I have to roll to aid?
Yeah.
Yeah. So pick who. So before we roll anything, pick who's making the check. Then whoever wants to aid can aid.
I'll do the same as I did last time. I'll go for the same.
I was going to say, I think
We'll do it exactly the same.
Minamoto's our best survival check, if not the idol.
Yeah, and Dastor for perception.
Yeah, he's on a
So I'll help. You were helping Dastor, weren't you, Dave? So was I helping
Minato.
with the? Yeah, was I doing that?
Yeah.
Yes, that's
what I'll
survival.
do. Oh no, I'm better at perception, so I'll help the perception person. I'm sure that's what I did last time.
Yep.
Perception. This will be pants. 8.
1 aid, just. 'Cause it's split over 10. 2 aid.
I'm gonna aid Minato.
Okay, hold off then. Let's get the perceptions out of the way first. One at a time. Otherwise, I'll lose count. I have got 2 hands, but I'll get confused. Anyway, I have some
Lars,
perception
are
aid.
you going to roll the perception check, and I'll do an aid as well?
Either or. I've got
You've
80
got a
perception,
+9,
so
so-
it's pretty good. Yeah.
My
Yeah.
perception is not very good, but it's better
got
than my
+4.
survival.
Oh my god.
And a 15 for another aid.
So that's another. So that's because you didn't roll guidance this time. So that's a 15 on perception. So do you want to
Alright.
roll to aid on the survival?
Yeah,
Adam?
I would. Oh, I can't do it. I'll shut up.
No,
One
Jake.
or the other, one or the other.
I'm gonna roll to aid on the survival
Okay.
with Addam.
I'll let you roll with your eagle on as well if you want to. You have skill checks for a reason on it, so because you can have them as intelligent creatures if you so wish. You just use yours as a beast bird. But mechanically, they do function. You got 1 aid on the survival. Did you want to roll guidance, cast guidance? Sorry, on
Yeah.
Minato as well. All right, cool. I'll take that. +1, so it's +3 at the moment.
Do I actually have to cast it like that for you to see?
No, it's fine because
You
you
just
don't have spell failure chance on cleric spells in armor, so it's
Yeah.
fine. You don't need to worry about it. 11, 13, 14. Were you waiting with the eagle on, Jake?
I don't. Well, can he aid?
So mechanically, the way you're role playing him would suggest not, but mechanically, yeah, because they have the skill checks, so you can play them as intelligent creatures. Whether
I'll
he
lean in
flight-
more to the RP and the fact that he's
Okay.
kind of just like almost like just
Okay, that's
he'll be sniffing around and just like looking around, but he probably won't be concentrating on what the group are doing.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fair enough.
Cool.
I respect that, but I wanted to give you the option.
No, thank you.
So that's a 14 and a 15 on perception and a 14 on survival. I mean, it's all overgrown up here. You know, nobody's been up here in a long time, so it's not the easiest to tell. Maybe but it could just as much be a creature as a goblin. Like darting around the grass. It could just be, you're not sure. You couldn't definitely say it's goblins, but something's been up here. But what it is, you couldn't say.
Is there any? Can anyone track or anything like that? See if there's any footprints.
That's
what
what
the
the
survival
survival.
is.
Oh, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Okay, so we're approaching on high alert. We were going to anyway. Let's face
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
And there is an overgrown trail that leads up to the house as well.
okay, that
We very carefully take the trail.
yeah. Shield out, sword out, along the trail.
And me and Minamoto stealth ahead of the party and scout.
That's what we want to do.
Yeah.
You tell me
As
what
we
you want
approach
to
the
do.
house, the pair of us can just sort of lead off and try and scout ahead stealthily.
Are you gonna go together or are you gonna peel off?
Separate, but within, line of sight, so we can just sort of, or
Hey,
wait,
confusing.
I've seen something.
Yeah, no problem. So, all right, roll stealth. Boom.
Oh.
Oh, he's lost his touch.
Yeah.
I think Argus
It's
would be
very
suggesting that if you're stealthing off, I will continue along the path, and I'm quite happy to make a noise to suggest I'm here. Look at me.
Dastor's happy to follow up
Yeah.
close
Yeah,
behind as well.
Yeah, I'll be bringing up the rear with.
With the gear.
How do I measure that? Quick look. What skill do I think is applicable for that, Dave?
Probably also have my Eidolon up front with Dastor and Argus.
Dave, roll. Yeah, roll me an intimidate check. Probably the closest thing I can see that kind of applies to what you're trying to do. Not intimidation as such, but yeah. So you're clanking and crashing, and you're knocking tree branches out the way. Making bags of noise. But I mean, you kind of as you get close to this house, you're not seeing any movement, not seeing anything.
I'm going to cast Detect Magic. So I'm going to get within proximity of the building.
Mhm.
I just let me check the range before I commit to what I'm saying. Because I can't remember. I don't want to say it incorrectly. 60 feet, yeah. So I'll get within about 60 feet of the building.
Yep.
And just sort of throw out a Detect Magic, see if anything pings up for me.
So the first thing that pings up, and this, you see kind of almost opposite you see like a little ping from a potion on a belt, so you kind of know where Minato is.
Right.
But other than that, no residual magic coming from the house storm.
Okay.
The door is slightly ajar and off its hinges.
See within.
Not really, only a little sliver.
Okay.
And certainly not from 60 feet away.
And it's still daytime. Visibility is good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably looking 11 o'clock in the morning if you depending on what
so,
time you left.
yeah.
Don't know why I did that. Sorry, everyone. Ignore that.
Ray
You
across
get
the front door.
Yeah, Mark's upset by the door.
I had the same problem earlier, Mark. I was looking through my spell list and
I
just
was
casting
just
them
looking.
all.
Yeah, I was just checking what things do, and just started rolling dice.
So front door ahead. Any windows on the wall that we're looking at?
Yeah, so how do I describe this house? If you think like to a Western film, do you know, like the wooden shacks that they make in like frontier westerns?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very much like that, but a bit bigger, a bit kind of longer at the back. But yeah, so you've got two kind of big windows on the front. There's light pouring in. You can't really see any movement as such rolling the perception check over that 15.
Yeah.
But you can make a fresh one if you want to. You want to specifically zone in. I'll go for another perception.
Yeah,
check.
I was going to say, that's sort of where I was angling when I was saying, can I see anything?
As you kind of, so as you're getting closer, kind of moving towards that, I suppose, I mean, how are you doing this is the question, I suppose. So,
Well, Dastor's going to just say he's going to walk straight past Zegric and go, "Are we all good then, Tiefling?" And then just walk straight into the front door of the house.
Get in. I like your style.
Why do you need to talk about my race?
Because it's Dastor, and it's racist. He only sees colour. He only sees colour.
I think similar to Dastor, my approach would be direct, and just trust that the wide stealthy lads are doing their thing, and then I'm supported behind with ranged. I would kind of think that the Eidolon would be up with me and Dastor as well.
Yeah, he would. He's going to be kind of at the front doing his thing, but he's almost like sniffing down at the ground and like looking in menacing.
I like it. Just sorry about this. Is basic. I should know. Can you cast cantrips as often as you like?
yes.
Yeah.
It's just that it says 0 of 4 and it's got ways to tick them off, and it says prepared once. So I don't know.
They've
Where Pathfinder is different to D&D, and I don't think we've discussed this. So that's on us. You have to prepare your spells. So whereas D&D 5th edition, you have a list. You can cast whatever you want off that list within your spell slot.
Yeah.
Pathfinder, you prepare the spells you're going to use. So the reason it's saying 0 of 4 is because you've not prepared the 4 cantrips that you're going to be using today. And you can change what you have prepared every day because we have spell books.
And can I have them all prepared?
No, you can only have 4.
Yeah, so no,
I've only got 4.
Yeah. So so cantrips are a little bit different for wizards, but in essence, what Sam's saying correct. You can prepare 4 of them, but you can cast the cantrips as many times as you like.
Yeah.
Well, they've done is they've copied the code over for your level 1 spell slots. Because obviously there's a limit to how many times you can cast. So you would have to prepare 2 uses of one of them, 1 use for another, so on, so on. They're quite strict with wizard spells, in that regard.
Right. So I'm gonna have to.
I
tick
haven't
which
been
spells I've got
policing it
prepared.
too
One of
much.
so with me level 1 spells, then it
Yep.
says. Oh God. One of at the minute it says 1 of 3, and because I've just put a tick in the summon monster. Oh, those. So it says prepared once.
Yeah, so that's telling you how many spells you've got prepared.
Yeah. So I would have had to have had Feather 4 because I was talking about it.
If
In fact, I'll have had that twice.
If you tick the little circle,
Yeah.
that's your way of recording. That's the spell I've got prepared.
Sound.
1 or 2 or 3 or 4 of.
Totally sorted now. Yeah, that's fine. Right.
Don't worry about it, mate. We forgot to have that discussion, and it should have been me that led it because you and I are the main magic users, and it's impertinent to you and I.
It's all right.
Magic Mike.
Hey,
Don't do it now, does it?
I'll be honest. Given again, this is like session 3. I haven't been policing it too much, but what'll happen is I'll start to get stricter and I'll start to handhold less as we go on. So I'm aware it's a bit more of a complicated system. I'm not a monster, not yet. Anyway. That's cool.
He's not brave.
Have you ever played Rollmaster? Has anyone ever
No, I
played
haven't.
Rollmaster? It's just the most ridiculously complicated system you've ever seen. Every possible weapon you can imagine had its own attack table, and I mean different styles of dagger. So like it did have an attack for a table for a poignard, a table for a stiletto, table for a dirk, table for a main gauche. It's like, oh, for fuck's! And that was just daggers. So you can imagine how many swords there were, and there were about 4,000 polearms. Yeah. Why? The book just of combat tables was like Lord of the Rings. It's like, I'm not playing this. It's not fun. Right,
Yeah,
sorry, I'm off
No,
topic.
you're right. So as they approach the door, Zegric will just hold back, giving himself line of sight on the doorway.
Yeah, so Minato's holding it at an angle so we can see through the window.
Dastor's just going to bash the door open with his axe in his hand and be like, get this door out of the way. Just march
Right,
it.
cool. You have low light vision, yeah?
Or dark vision.
Yeah, you'll have one of you there as a dwarf.
Do I believe 60 feet? Yeah.
Yeah, so you step in. And there's nothing. There's nobody in there.
That's more creepy.
Okay, I'm going to start moving towards
Bar is in my
further
head.
rooms. I'm not. Yeah, there's.
Okay, so I haven't got a map for this. I won't lie to you.
He wasn't ready.
I didn't think you come up here this quickly. I won't lie to you.
Oh, that's not a good one.
Well, whilst you're doing this, Dastor's hungry again and thirsty. So he's just setting a fire. He's got his iron pot on. He's pouring a bit of water and boiling up some water for another cup of tea. And he's just looking around the group and asking if anyone wants one.
Lars, I feel like you're playing yourself in real life here, mate.
This is me at work. I literally turn up to RDH and I'm like, anyone for a brew?
Have you ever heard Bernard Cribbins Right Said Fred?
No.
I mean, you won't, I'm sure, but if you want to Google it, that was mine and Trist's theme for a while. It's a bit of
Right
it's a bit
Said
of
Fred is in the people that
1970s
did
gold.
I'm too sexy people.
You are?
Are they the ones that did the I'm too sexy song?
No, but Bernard Cribbins is he was an old actor, sort of comedian.
No, but Right Said Fred is a band in it.
Oh right,
I'm sure
yeah.
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 That's all that was going through my head when you said that.
It was. I saw a funny interview with him. He says, I always thought I was gay. I spent my whole life thinking I was gay, and when he got famous, he'd got loads of girls throwing themselves at him, and it's just like I just got into it. So it's sort of like, yeah, okay, I'll shag anything now.
Okay, so I will apologise for the really crude drawing. It's a bit rough. So this is your front door. No, I'm still on the draw tool. This is your front door. That you
functional. The fact you can do it so quickly is a gift.
So this is your front door you've come into. You've got 3 doorways in.
What's the light situation like? Because it's still early.
It's pretty well lit. So he liked light, obviously. So you've got a lot of windows. There's a window here, here, and then these doors are slightly open, but you can see light in these rooms are reasonably well lit as well, so it's not too bad.
I'll say, Argus, will you go and open the door? And I'll
Yeah.
stand behind you.
I'll start left. Poke it open with a sword shield raised.
So did you want to start with like perception checks on this first room, or are you going to move through clear and then?
We
Just
can
clear each
Okay,
room
cool.
first. Make sure there's no hostile.
I'll move up to the doorway, the entry doorway. So I've got a
Okay.
field of view.
I'm hanging back so I
Yeah.
can fire over Dave's shoulder if necessary.
So Minato is stood by this window here, but he looks like he could probably climb through that if he wanted to. So he's like ready to breach as well, but from a different angle, different perspective. So you're gonna go through this door, sorry, Dave?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so like, are you quiet? Are you quick and hard?
Yeah.
Quick and hard. Just so boot to the door and straight in, yeah?
Yep.
Cool. It just looks dusty. There's some old furniture in here. Like a lot of carving tools and woodworking tools. This maybe use this as like a little bit of a workshop area.
Okay. Anything that could be used as concealment to hide behind?
I mean, his workbench is pushed up against the wall. Up this far end, there's a window there too. There's tools scattered all over that. It looks like he was working on some kind of rocking chair, maybe here in front of the work. He's like on the floor as if he was testing it.
Okay.
And there's just like a massive junk pile of wood over here, like good quality, like wood that you make stuff out of.
Okay.
I'll follow Dave in and I'll cast detect magic. See if anything.
Sure.
Close.
Nothing pops up, mate.
Nothing.
Sorry.
Boring. Boring.
So out, and next door.
Yeah. So same thing, like fast and hard.
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
Just
Yeah.
quickly before you go through there, Argus, Dastor's going to be like, Argus, did you want a brew? And he's still just making it.
I think it'd be poised to charge through. Yeah, go on, and then charge through.
I'm just logging it on
Yeah,
my.
he's got like a cooking fire stove over in this kind of corner over here. That does. So this looks like some kind of bedroom. There's like a pretty well made, but again, it's dead dusty. Like bed, like lots of moth-eaten blankets and stuff like that. But
I'll follow him in and follow Dave in and start rooting about. See if there's anything I can steal or that's valuable. Draws out everything.
Magic.
okay, we'll roll that.
Check magic.
Yeah.
Look under the mattress for any hidden stash.
Nothing.
Porn mags there at least. I mean, they haven't got broadband, have they? So they'll definitely be porn.
That'll be in the
It'll be a
bush, mate.
painted picture, won't it?
Fair though, with his history as to what he got up to, I wouldn't want to look what his stash is like.
That's yeah, actually fair play.
I mean, I've seen far too many true crime documentaries.
And yet the worst one, one of the worst serial killers of all time. He thought his idea of porn was getting those detective magazines, where they just have girls being kidnapped and put. It's what that's porn.
Things you know, darling. Jesus Christ.
It was. Did you know? Did you ever see the story? It was like from the 1700s or something. And it was the first ever nude picture that got sent to somebody. Like, when people say like send nudes, the first ever one was a woman that she'd painted a picture of her own boobs and sent it to someone like in the 1700s.
Well, I think the guy who invented the camera, I think the first picture he took was of a girl with her tits out. I think the first ever photograph was.
Sounds about right for a bloke.
I was going to say, if it was a bloke that's done it.
Yeah, and then you find out that was his whole sole purpose in inventing photography, so he could do that.
I mean, there's nothing
My work
great.
here is done.
There's nothing
Brings a
great
whole
at
new
first
meaning
glance.
to. Do you want to just take a picture?
Nothing great at first glance. You'd have to spend some time really rummaging around to try and find anything useful.
Yeah, we'll go for the last door then.
This one, strangely closed, isn't on its hinges or anything. It's closed. Looks pretty solid.
Okay. Any handle?
There is a handle, yeah. There is a lock on that handle.
Who could pick locks?
Resident assassin.
Resident
Yeah.
assassin.
So
Minato.
yeah, do you want to try and pick the lock? Do you want Minato to try and pick the lock?
Yes,
should I say?
please. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Just gonna
Can I
then
do
turn myself
Can I
into a
give him
small-
guidance as
small
well?
tarantula. I think.
Certainly can.
Give him guidance so he can do that. He
Tarantula.
was just going to put a hand, going to quickly just tap him on the shoulder, give him guidance whilst he's still stirring the tea.
Okay.
That was tarantula, in case you missed it.
Was it?
Yeah.
I'm sticking with helicopter for my next one.
Right, so that's 17. He actually struggles. He's going away with his, with tools, but no dice.
Can his door be forced?
Certainly give it a go.
I'll ask Dastor if he'd be willing to brace it if I then charge.
Dastor's happy. He's just going to carefully place down his iron pot and stuff that he was making the tea with, puts it to one side, and he's just going to run over. And rather than shoulder barging the door, he's just going to go at it with his head.
Well, there's no
Yeah.
sense, there's no feeling, eh?
Roll a strength check for me.
A strength check, yeah.
Can I aid that in any way? Shove it.
Yeah. Well, you can roll as well, and I'll let you roll for aid. That's fine.
Yeah, Dastor's just going to say, literally, toss me, but don't tell the elf.
No aid on that, I'm afraid.
No, sorry.
With the crowbar, give him a +2.
So you're just like, "Puh," and then you come back and your head's ringing from your helmet. Like,
Dastor's just going to be like, I need a cup of tea. And he's just going to go sit back down.
Have we failed to open the door?
Yeah.
Dastor went out with his head.
Can I give it a go with the crowbar?
yeah. Go
Does
for
that give me a
it.
+2?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. I'll just roll a strength and then
Mhm.
just add 2.
Can I try and brace again and assist with this?
19.
Yeah. So I'll let you because he didn't stop. I'll let you retroactively roll your aid roll.
And can I give guidance as well?
Yeah, I'll give it. So that makes it a 20. The door creaks and you feel it budge. You think one more solid hit. You're pushing against it. The door's kind of bowing at this point. One more good hit, you think you get through.
Shall I do it again with the crowbar?
Yes.
Or do you want Dastor to go with his head again?
I mean, you do have an axe. I'm just saying.
Because
I was gonna
Axe
say,
and wood.
the eidolon in his claws.
Dastor just wants to make it aware that he softened it up first.
Is anyone going to wait before I roll the
Yeah.
crowbar? Yeah.
I'll aid as well.
Oh, no good to you.
No aid.
My strength's crap.
Hey, you've only got it at 10 DC though, so you could all throw yourselves at it. That's
I'll
fine.
throw myself at it. Right, there we go. Strength check coming up. How the fuck do you do a strength check?
Just click on the strength button on your.
STR.
Let's see.
Hold up.
I'm in
Did
the
mine
top
roll
thing.
twice?
Top
Main.
left.
No, you rolled one and then you rolled another. You waited the first time, not the second.
Ah.
No.
I've
yeah.
no use.
Yeah.
I've just turned myself into a small banana. That's it.
You're all to aid then, Lars. Alright, you got one aid, Sam. With +2.
Yeah.
20.
Yeah. Bottom push. She comes off the hinges and hits the floor. This room's very different.
Immediately steps back, so he cracks the door with the crowbar and immediately moves back.
Yeah, no traps or anything go off that you notice anyway. But there's tools in here that aren't carpentry tools. Like there's an extremely sharp knife. You can make praise rolls or there's lots of sharp knives and hooks and things in here. And you can make an appraise if you want a more detailed breakdown of what's in here. But
It's a 6.
yeah, so you're not really familiar with this stuff, Sam. Yeah. I think possibly like there's a smell of like dried old blood in here that's perhaps putting you off, like really focusing on what's going on.
Addam would be like, this smells familiar, and look at his eidolon. So
But
what?
yeah.
What's that? What did you roll, Sam, to do that?
Appraise.
Appraise.
Yeah, it's second on the list, mate.
Dastor's gonna he's finished making the tea at this point. He's going to stand up, walk into the room. As he's going by, he's going to look up and like reach up and pass a cup of tea to Argus that he's finished making, and he's just going to walk in sipping his tea.
Roll a fortitude save for me. Quite pungent in here.
Where is Fort? We got it.
You're
30.
all right, but it's not pleasant in here. You know, smell of dry blood and death. There's a table with leather straps on it, and they called him the Chopper for a reason.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
But is it
Yeah.
dusty like the other rooms? Nothing's been disturbed.
yeah, nothing's been disturbed. Although you haven't really rolled any particulars. This is at first glance. You're not really investigated any of this.
Can I do a detect magic on the room?
Certainly can.
Is that right? What I've done?
Yeah, well, you don't need to cast it because there's no roll for detect magic, so you can just
Oh.
say you're using it. It's fine. But yeah, there's nothing magical here. But yeah.
So from
So
the
does anyone have
outside
a-
of the house, was it just a single story?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quite a simple house. But
Okay.
as I say, all you've done is quick glances. You've not really investigated any of these rooms. You just kind of cleared them and quick look
Right.
around.
What about floor? Is there any obvious like trap doors or anything looking for a basement?
Not really. I mean, not really. No. I mean, there's like a mouldy rug in the main room, back in the first room you were in. But other than that,
So we
I'm
need
thinking
to check all the rooms. Are there any windows in this room in the room of murder?
that one there are windows, but they've been very clearly boarded up. It's old work. It's not new.
So this
They
is
were
where he
boarded
brought
up at one
victims and
point.
he's hidden them whilst he's butchering them.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we need a thorough room by room proper investigation. Check all the corners, check everything, and we also so there's no signs of habitation whatsoever.
From the quick glances that you made, yeah. But again, you
Okay.
need to roll perception checks and stuff.
Righto.
For that, so.
Let's have a check then. Let's check everything out because we'll know where we're moving from at this.
Which room had the rug in it?
This one.
Dastor's going to go back in there then and have a look at, pull the rug back and see if there's anything suspicious
Yeah,
under the rug.
there's like a table on top of it, but you can move the table further up. There's nothing there.
Okay.
Just wood. But yeah, if you want to make perception checks for signs of life,
Yep.
crack on. Do survival checks as well if you're looking for like tracks and footprints and stuff.
My
I mean,
survival's-
Addam would probably turn round to sorry, Sam, I forgot your character's name. Slips my
Zegric.
mind. Zegric, and he'd be asking like, you know, when was he last active? When did he die?
You'd know this is about. It was about a month before the fire at the cathedral, so just over 5 years ago. Thereabouts. So
this is just a dodgy old, like Western style wooden
Abandoned shack.
shack.
it looks like it would have been quite nice when it was habited, other than the murder room.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
other than
thinking
that,
real estate as well, chaps. I mean, open the windows in the back, claim it. I don't give a fuck what happened here. This looks like a decent retreat.
Yeah.
Okay,
I-
all right.
We need to make sure the island's clear because we're looking for lookout points, and obviously we've not cleared the island.
No.
So as you're looking around this house, Argus, you do see the remains of what was like. Someone's clearly like had a fire here and pulled the coal out around the fireplace.
Okay.
And Dastor, you're seeing like quite small footprints in the dust now that you're looking closer. They've all made obvious attempts to hide it. But yeah, looks like someone's been here fairly recently.
Someone else has probably been using it.
But they are footprints of small creatures.
Okay. Footprints moving towards front door.
In and out, in and out.
In and out. Okay. So I'll point. Sort of make a noise, probably sword on shield. Point. and then do a circle motion, and I'll start moving towards the front door again.
Yeah. Okay.
Stor's just
Maybe-
gathering his bits up.
Zegric will follow.
I'll move you just back to the map so we can see the island a little bit better. We can come back to map whenever you want to.
Okay.
So are we on this south end of the island at the moment? Of
So
the grassy bit.
you climbed up kind of here, and the house is somewhere up kind of more in the largest centre piece there.
Any prominent points? Like high ground.
So where you came up was probably actually the lowest point.
Yeah.
It's closest to the ground. And it kind of comes up to level about here.
About where, sorry? Okay. Just its
Kind of
highest point.
along this ridge here. So that's your highest point.
Might be best to go there and look down. Or just do a whole circle of the island. How big is the island again? It's not too big, is it?
No, Matt, you could cover it in 2 hours, realistically.
We can't see any signs of campfires, smoke in the air.
Not that you've seen on your way up the path you've travelled, and certainly not around the house, other than the spread coals from the fireplace.
And these footprints of coal footprints, are they trailing out of the cabin, or
In and out, yeah.
can you see them going off into the forest, into the grass or anything?
Once they get
direction.
onto the grass, they're not really like coal footprints. So they've had coal, like you can see the scrapings of coal around the fireplace, hidden a little bit by the fact that you lit the fireplace up and started making tea.
Yeah.
But the footprints are more in the dust, but they're very faint, like someone's made obvious effort to try and hide them.
Okay.
And I'd suggest similar to before. Then I'm quite happy to make a nuisance of myself, while the two stealthy, because we've got a decent pincer movement. If we've got two stealthy guys left and right, and then the rest of us up the middle. Look at us, distract from you guys, and then an owl hoot for stop and look and all that kind of business.
There's nothing stealthy about Dastor anyway. So
No,
he's happy
me
to
neither,
march
dude.
on.
We're
I'll
there.
just hang behind you again as backup in case anything appertains, or if there's any cheese.
Yeah, it seems like we're sort of making a standard formation here, aren't we? For movement.
What's the plan? Just to kind of try and clear the entire top of the island and
Yeah,
The high points, yeah.
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 Okay. So I should have made you roll with knowledge geography for this, but I don't think any of you have it. So Sam, make me a quick roll local knowledge local, but it'll be with a higher.
I've got geography.
I'll do you. Do you want to
It's
roll
not
geography?
ticked, but I've got it.
Yeah, you can. Okay. Yeah. So this is your high point. If you're going to watch from anywhere, it's going to be from this ridge that goes along the coast here. Plus, it's going to give you a good view. Obviously, they attacked at the cathedral. You've got a pretty much straight line view there, and you're above it, so you've got the high ground looking down into the town.
By logic, then that seems like the best place to go, because if that's where they were looking for the attack on the town.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yep, I'm down with that.
We're going to follow Argus then. Argus is taking lead.
Yep.
Yeah.
So stealth checks where appropriate. Dave, do you want to make another intimidation roll for me?
Sure.
You're a very quiet boy.
Yeah, my stealth is sort of just something I've acquired as it makes sense rather than it being part of the original build. Yeah, it's not great.
Okay. But again, you're making a lot of noise, like crunching rock, and I don't know if you're banging your shield a bit purposefully and things like that. And then somebody make a. Actually, Minato might be the better one to do this. Is the survival check. See what he rolls.
Sorry, I didn't really do that. I'm just.
All right, mate. Hey, you're just being cautious, and I respect it. Yeah, no. You're pushing up to this ridge. And as you kind of get, there's like a cove just below the ridge. Like it gets quite steep towards the edge at one point as you're moving towards it. And in that little cove, you can see what looks like the remains of a small camp.
On the edge of the cliff.
So no, so it's just off. So if the edge of the cliff is here,
Yeah.
it's almost like in a little cove that's quite steep. So you
Gotcha.
wouldn't see like a firelight. They've been, it's pretty well hidden from looking at the island.
Okay.
It's like natural cover.
So we need to see if is there any footprints? I mean, who's good at that? I'm not good at that.
So
Yeah, how are they getting down to that?
I mean,
Yeah.
would it not be a survival check to look at footprints?
That's right. Yeah.
So I mean, and potentially my Eidolon could have a quick look. He'd be relatively
Have a sniff around. Yeah.
good at scouting out some.
I'll put guidance on it as well.
So you almost using your ability to look through your Eidolon's eyes to kind of like guide it to look for what you want. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that a lot.
Oh, I don't know if it rolled actually.
Haven't got anything come up.
Yeah, no, it's come up, mate.
I've clicked it like 3 times.
There you go.
19.
19.
And that's +1 for guidance, so that's a 20. So it starts sniffing out like, this kind of, it's kind of like snout, hasn't it? It's like almost kind of like big angry dog kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's sniffing around the camp, and it's sniffing out almost individual footprints, and you can see like they were clearly going up and then coming back down, and they're doing like a regular watch, and you get the indication that these are a couple of days old.
So like, as this is happening, so Addam's eyes are gonna roll back, and he's not like he's blind because he's looking through the Eidolon, so he can kind of like walk forward. And then he'll walk up to where his Eidolon's obviously sniffing at the ground, and he'll reach down and touch the ground to kind of gather all that information, and then he'll relay that back to the group, but he'll do it in a creepy way in the respect that his eyes are still rolled back into the back of his head as he looks back and is like, there's been a patrol here.
Creepy bastard is Addam.
Dastor's just going to look up at Argus and be like, ooh.
Is there any signs that they've left?
There are no newer tracks in a couple of days old. So these tracks are like 3 days old, and there's nothing newer than that.
And there's no caves or anything nearby?
Not that you can see, no. I mean, you can search, so you can take a couple of hours and like really scour it, but
We need to search the
hours
whole of
are-
the peninsula, don't we? Just to make sure
Yeah.
it's properly clear to report back.
Yep,
I'm just going to nip for a burst. I'm back in a sec.
I'll do the same. Then I took my drink up as well.
Ow.
Mark's going long.
I'm not saying anything to tempt fate.
Yeah, same.
But we
I
also
looked at the
didn't
time
start
when it was
late.
at 10:30, and I was like, "Oh, this will be
There
it."
you go, yeah.
We were only just climbing up at that point.
Tickle the elephant. Schmucking a pancake.
The thing
You
is,
haven't
though,
got
as
the-
soon as one of us gets it, we'll probably end up cheering, and it'll be dead obvious. What's the prize for getting it?
A wand of cure light wounds with 50
With
charges.
50 charges.
It's
Nice.
worth like 1,250 gold or something mad.
Nice.
It's an expensive piece of kit, that is. And once you win that, we'll put something else in the mix, so I'll change it, and we'll get more and more expensive as we go on.
Yeah,
So,
that's cool.
I was just saying to the lads with this game, if you win the wand, the next item will be more expensive, and it's just going to go up and up and up.
Nice.
We'll scale it. So I'm not giving you levels because I'm running
Milestone.
Yeah, we're running
Yeah.
milestones, so you don't get too over.
Yeah, no, I know. I regretted it after I said it, but I'll stand by it. But the other advantage is Mark's not on text, so we can text before a session what your answer is, and then we've got it.
Does he just not have WhatsApp?
He doesn't have a phone, mate. He's a fucking hermit.
Is he?
Yeah, it's even worse. He works for. He does the CBR checks. You know, if you apply for a new job and you have to be investigated to see if you've got a criminal record, he runs those checks. But he goes into an office to do it. But because since COVID, he's been working at home a little bit. So that's what you see on the screen. That's Mark. That's his
Forever.
world. Yeah, yeah. He's a hermit, mate. I do. I seriously visit every now and again just to make sure he's still alive. Which is why I started playing D&D again as well, and including him into it.
Yeah.
He seems to
Dan,
really
give him an
enjoy
out.
it though.
Oh, he loves it. Yeah. Yeah, and he never watches these back, so we can slag him off as much as he likes.
This is where he starts.
yeah. They're fucking playing that game.
He's actually secretly been watching it for months, and he's deliberately making it really difficult.
Yeah.
Booming.
Right, so checking the island.
Yeah.
So
Same pincer
what I'll
movement.
say, so if you're going to do that and you're going to cover the entire island, what I'll say, make a group perception check. So one person rolls it, everyone else rolls to Wade, and we'll give you a +10 on the DC for taking your time to do so.
Right.
Really take your time. So
Okay.
who's got your best? It's Lars who's got your best
I've
perception,
got
isn't it?
best, yeah.
Daster's up.
I'll roll to aid. Where have I got it?
No.
Daster's
To be
got
fair-
26.
Yeah, so that's
I rolled a
that's
10.
It's 26
So-
good all off the bat anyway.
That's 28. Plus your
Yeah,
10, plus 10.
26 is a good perception roll at this level, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good, yeah. Level 2, we're only waiting.
Oh, where's this character sheet gone now?
Video.
Too many windows open. I want from Minato as well, just in case you get even higher.
So that's a 30 so far.
Godlike.
Perception.
No,
No.
it was a 30.
So 30 plus your 10 for taking time. So
40.
10. So yeah. So
That's some perception.
yeah. So and it's interesting that Lars makes this check, right? At the very tip of the back of this island, just back here, you find a collapsed entrance to a cave.
Do it.
Has anyone got the knowledge engineering?
Have I?
Mark has, I think.
Let me have a look.
I don't.
Yes, I do. Here we
I think,
go.
yeah, when we did the knowledge checks earlier.
This was purposely and recently collapsed.
Right,
Probably
I'll
about
relay
3
that.
days ago.
I'll relay that to the group. So yeah, this is only reason I think we need to get in here. Is it? I mean, how is it going to be possible? I mean, is it possible to move the
They've made a good job of this.
right?
A
So
real good
we
job.
can't get. We don't know what's in there then.
It takes some real doing to shift it, but no one's getting through it easily.
Right. So
Um,
we know that they're
easily.
not coming out of there.
Where are they going in?
Well, unless it's just a cave. Either
It
way,
been deliberately caved. It wouldn't have been deliberately sealed if it wasn't.
well, here's the other suggestion. We need to check this because there's a chance that if we go in and it's a cave, then it's a cave. But if it leads to town, then we need to know about it.
Yeah.
We can't. Well, so far we've got no way to move the cave in.
Can we add a survival to that? You know, that searching perception to see
You
if
now
we
want to
can
make
track to lead us to a.
So same
So if
again
we
with
have
survival.
Yes, if Minato does the main roll and we all roll to assist.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. We'll roll over the Eidolons because he's sniffing. He's got a scent now, right?
Okay.
And he's following that scent. And kind of, oh mate, and you know now it's been pointed out to you, Argus. You're on it as well. The most recent tracks. So these tracks coming to this cave were fairly fresh. They're about 3 days old. They lead right up to this cave. Mortis, this was collapsed about 3 days ago. From your knowledge engineering check, looking at it, it's been done recently. Last 3 days. You would surmise that they collapsed this on their way out.
So that means there's got to be somewhere in the house. There's got to be some. Oh, I've got detect secret doors, but I haven't prepared it. How annoying is that? got to be.
So the tracks lead
No.
to this cave.
I
Yeah.
reckon there must
And
be something in the house that goes under the ground, and it would be
No.
particularly serial killery to do that as well.
Mark, I think what he's saying is they found the cave, and
Yeah.
then 3 days ago they've all gone in the cave, collapsed the entrance behind them so nobody can follow them, and then gone wherever they're going. Does that make sense?
Yeah, fair play.
So I think Dave's probably hit the nail on the head, and it's probably a tunnel that led in under the town, but they've closed the only entrance behind them as they've used it. That's what I'm getting. I don't know about anybody else.
Well, I think that should.
Or someone has shoved them in here and closed the. Is
Well,
there any
what
indication of the closed tunnel? Was it closed from inside or outside?
it looks like it was. So they've closed it from the inside.
Okay, righto. Yeah. Okay, so original idea.
So what I reckon we do with regards to that is let the town folk. Who's the top man? The sheriff, isn't it?
Well, we've got a mayor as well.
We'll say, can you send a crew down there with the right tools to clear this cave? Because it says if we can't do it in any sort of reasonable time, we could get it done for us.
Okay. So the reason we're here is to check if there was a lookout point.
Which we've ascertained there was.
Yes, and not only that, we think there's possibly an entry point. So, are we just going to go back to Sandpoint?
Have we checked? Did we check for? Did anyone check for secret doors in there, just in case?
We were quite thorough, weren't we?
Trap doors, yeah.
Yeah. So we can pretty much. Yeah, we got good. Somebody rolled quite well, didn't they, for that? If I remember. Right then. Well, I think if there's nothing remaining, we should head back to town and report in.
So we can report that we did find a watch point, and we've potentially found there's a
suspicious cave. So I think we should say as well we intend to take up, make that our base of operations if the mayor's got no particular problem with that.
While they're excavating, is there any chance they could build us a stairs up?
Pulley system or something.
Yeah.
Dastor can't make that climb again.
I mean, because the suggestion from Argos would also be that it's a very defensible point. It's difficult to get up, and it might be worth looking into.
What's the house built of? Is it a stone house or a wooden house?
Just a wooden frontier house, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was a shack, wasn't it? I do recall.
Yeah. Quite a nice shack. It was quite well built. Don't get me wrong, but kind of basic.
But yeah, I mean, it would be a good and easy. I mean, okay, so it's not a fort. It's not a fort, but the natural geography makes it, as was said, it makes it easy to defend. I mean, say as long as the mayor's cool, we could sort of get keys made and a lot, make it our own. Yes.
And I've got experience with woodworking, so I can do some repairs.
Yeah.
Roll knowledge local for me, Sam.
For
any of you.
And this has been the most useful skill ever.
Yeah.
Local history,
MVP,
mate, that's the thing,
knowledge local.
This place, there's a lot of supernatural superstition about this place. There's a reason they burnt the stairs. People are scared of it.
Not surprised.
I mean,
no one's going
to object to it, but they might start to be suspicious of you if you're living in a serial killer's house. Do you know what I mean? That's your call.
Well, we'll not make it patently obvious then. We can just go and get some locks and keys and.
Yeah, what about if we pretty it up there, put some flowers out, stuff like that? A nice planter.
Well, once we've ascertained what this cave-in means, I mean, we've checked the rest of the island completely thoroughly, so we know there's nothing weird going on.
It's blocked thoroughly as well, so I mean, it'd be almost impossible to unblock from the inside.
Does it look
take some work from the outside?
Does it look like it's, from what we've assessed on the island so far? Does it look like they've come in the same way that they've gone out?
Yeah. So there's no tracks. The only tracks at the edges of the islands are at that lookout, that kind of high point where they could see over into the town and at the cathedral, because that's got beautiful line of sight on that cathedral where they initially attacked.
Well, what I reckon we do then when we get, I'm assuming we're heading back into town. If we could request an audience with the mayor and the sheriff, both of them, and tell them exactly what we found, and we can't, we're incapable of clearing the blockage, but we think it might be important to know what that tunnel.
You're not gonna Columbo the everyone assembled, are you?
Everyone assembled. Yeah. Unless anyone got anything to add.
Well, the only thing that I'd potentially add is if we could get as many dignitaries in the same room as possible, so I could tie my shoelaces.
But the flip side of that as well is there are goblin prisoners that we can question as well.
Yeah,
there is.
Yeah, because the only thing that keeps coming back to me is this is their escape route. If they're attacking the town and they're not successful, then why have they cut off their escape route?
Yeah, I'm very suspicious about the whole cave thing. So I think we should say, do you think we should ask if the mayor or the sheriff can arrange for a work crew to go and clear it out?
I do. I think our business is done in the island. I can't think of anything else that we need to do.
Well, we've checked. There's nothing untowards except that cave.
Yeah,
we have found evidence.
We head back towards. We tell them about it. What I would also suggest is when it's being opened, if we could go in and through.
You'd be present.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a really good idea, because obviously we want to know.
Yeah.
So what else did we have? What other leads did we have?
That was it.
All the goblin prisoners.
Apart from the prisoners.
Right, well, who's it's going to be a charisma character, isn't it? With intimidation or...
I mean, even though Addam is a very introverted person, he's actually got quite a decent charisma.
Well, I think whoever's got the best chance.
And I feel like I've got a really good aid for intimidation in the form of a really moist, fleshy beast.
Yeah. Maybe you could talk to the...
And then he's got his eagle on as well.
Yeah.
So are we heading back into town then?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want climb checks from everyone to get back down the cliff.
Oh
I'll go
god!
last again.
I'll take my armor off to get down. Now that there's no danger. I mean, it doesn't come off often, but I'm not an idiot.
Well, you have, there's also people that can aid you to make that quicker as well, because obviously it takes a while to get on and off.
Yeah. I'm just gonna add 4 to the roll then, Tom, if that's all right, instead of changing.
That's absolutely fine, mate. Yeah.
6.
Good call.
Yeah. I've learned Featherfall twice, by the way. So if anyone does fall, I've got.
Yeah, I've got one use of it as well.
Yeah.
Dastor did surprisingly well.
Yeah, so even though it's been a long day and you're quite tired, but you all make it down successfully. And as you head back across Junkers Bay, that half-orc's kind of sat on top of a scrap, and he's kind of looking at you a little curiously, like roll a sense motive for me, somebody.
I've got bonus in this.
Do it, Dave.
Oh, it's only 4
10.
though. Yeah, go, Lars. Do it.
10, yeah.
Do it.
Oh, defo. Yeah.
29.
He looks relieved that you've come back unharmed.
Even me, even Dastor.
Not you, but the rest of the party. I mean, you look at him from a distance, it would be hard to pick out individual, but he looks genuinely relieved that you've come back unharmed.
Okay.
Dastor's warming to him a bit.
We've made friends with him, Dave. So
yeah, we actually gave him some money.
Yeah.
Well, I did as well. I
can't remember who it was, but I remember it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think me and Mark did. So
yeah, it's because we ate our chili and got the
gave him the winnings.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you get the feeling that he's been sat watching for your return as well.
Okay.
I'll just wave at him, and smile.
Yeah, it'll be a nod
as we go past,
and then disappears off his mound.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. So we just need to plough back into town, get the sheriff and the mayor together, do what we suggested, unless anyone's got any other things to add or alternatives to do.
I think it's Just the interrogation with the goblins.
That's what it's going to be, isn't it?
Yeah.
The goblins.
Do we want to
We send
hold it
Addam
there?
down. We send
Is that a
Addam
good
down to be as
stopping
scary
point?
and unpleasant as possible. Get
Yeah,
them to tell us what's going down.
It's as good a stopping point as any, if that's what you want to do.
Is that all right for everyone?
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just,
cool.
I'm
So-
post night, so I'm a bit.
So
Yeah.
what I was
Yeah, I've got the day off tomorrow. Otherwise, I've taken my sleeping meds an hour later, so that's why I'm still active.
Yeah, apologies. I've not had much sleep today.
Don't
so
worry,
I'm a
mate.
bit-
Don't worry about it at all.
no, mate. Me and I work permanent nights, so I know how you feel, mate. We all work nights.
Isn't that
okay.
depressing? Permanent nights.
Oh, mate.